As it gets colder. If your furnace isn't working, Air Comfort Service can get you back in your comfort zone fast with a service call for only $99. Get your furnace serviced. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
Annie Fry, Ryan Wiggins, Brad Ray.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
Seems like they have this guy nailed to the wall in terms of evidence between that confession confided to his lover or partner there, the DNA evidence they say they have even on the trigger of the gun. It seems crystal clear who did this. I think it's also important to be crystal clear about why he did it. There has been a concerted effort in the media and on social media for days to pretend that this killer is somehow a right-winger. And that has become almost the conventional wisdom on wide swaths of the left that is simply untrue. This was a leftist motivated by political hate. He assassinated Charlie Kirk because of his ideas that he hated. And I'm not blaming the entire political left for this, but I think it's really important to tell the truth about who did this and why and who the person was and the motive behind it. Because if we don't start with a shared set of indisputable facts, then we can't have a reasonable conversation about anything.
That is the crux of the whole kit and caboodle, folks. We have to get back to a place in our civil discourse where there are at least some facts that we agree on. We live in different realities based on political party, and there is a huge investment that has been made in dividing us in a way that makes that absolutely the case. That was Guy Benson. He was on with Brett Baier, just on a panel talking about the obvious nature by what we heard yesterday. I mean, there are people who are saying this, Ryan, and I know that we listened to the whole thing. I'm glad we took that whole press conference yesterday from the district attorney because we got to get the whole picture right here on the show based on what they knew and what they wanted to share with the public. We were able to provide that to you. And I would just remind you that a lot of these press conferences, a lot of these big updates do develop in the course of the afternoon. So we will make a commitment to you that when those developments happen, we will take you to the source of the matter because, like Guy Benson is saying, we have to have an agreed upon set of facts before we can possibly start talking about opinion and policy and perspective. You have to have something you agree on. And, you know, before the Charlie Kirk assassination, it's just so easily convenient for people in media outlets. Yes, we're a media outlet here. We're an opinion-based media outlet, but I like to think that my opinions are rooted in provable facts. It just seems to me like the politics of the left are the driving force, the foundation of what the left-driven media wants to use to report on. So their foundation is an agenda-driven opinion. And how do you even do what Charlie Kirk does and have conversations with people when they're not, the people who are the opposite of you as a conservative are not rooted in facts? And so many times, again and again and again, Charlie Kirk proved himself right by inviting people to prove him wrong, and they did it based on hurt feelings and being offended.
You have to be strong enough in your worldview to allow it to change. And there are a lot of people in the world right now who are not really rooted in anything, and so they come up with a framework by which they attempt to understand the world. Everybody does that. That's the worldview. But when it's not rooted in anything, then it can be easily manipulated. And that's what I think when you see people go, well, this must have been a right-winger that assassinated Charlie Kirk. They're saying to themselves, one, I don't agree with assassinations. Great. Right. Good start. But number two, this can't be my side. It can't be. So therefore, I'm going to manipulate everything around it to fit into what I already believe. That's dangerous because that means you can't change your mind ever. You can't be persuaded.
The most important thing for these people there's two kinds of people here. There are people who are trying to defend the political space they live in without justifying the assassination of Charlie Kirk. So they're not celebrating. They're not going on the offense in any way, shape, or form. They won't cross that bridge. And a decent dose of respect for at least having those scruples. But they can't say that the murder of Charlie Kirk was based on a hatred of his political beliefs, and I denounce that. Without a but, without a period, without some sort of qualification or an explanation. There's always a defense. And it's interesting, it's a little telling when you employ that defense, because that means that the assassination of Charlie Kirk makes them feel like they have to defend themselves. Why is that? Well, then there's the other side that's going on the offense. And this is Jimmy Kimmel Monday night. Now, you might have seen this clip or heard this clip already, but we're going to play it for you because it's important so that we understand who we're talking to and what we're dealing with. We've just identified a camp of people who will not in any way, shape, glorify or support or celebrate the death of Charlie Kirk, but they can't whisper those words. They can't say those words without defending themselves. There are other people who are going to take this as an opportunity to triple down on a worldview that they have rooted in absolutely no evidence whatsoever. They are using the assassination of Charlie Kirk to go on the offense from the left.
We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it. In between the finger pointing, there was grieving. On Friday, the White House flew the flags at half-staff, which got some criticism. But on a human level, you can see how hard the president is taking this.
My condolences on the loss of your friend Charlie Kirk. May I ask, sir, personally, how are you holding up over the last day and a half, sir?
I think very good. And by the way, right there, you see all the trucks? They've just started construction of the new ballroom for the White House, which is something they've been trying to get, as you know, for about 150 years. And it's going to be a beauty.
Yes. He's at the fourth stage of grief, construction. Demolition, construction. This is not how an adult grieves the murder of someone he called a friend. This is how a 4-year-old mourns a goldfish, okay?
Absolutely hilarious, Jimmy Kimmel. Now, I saw that clip from the president. Has anybody said anything about that? I
haven't seen any more commentary. I've seen that clip, but nothing further.
There was obviously a disconnect there. I wonder if the question, in the context of the question, I would like an explanation from Carolyn Levitt as to why he answered that question the way he did. Because there's no way, there's no possible way that Trump heard that question and, the Charlie Kirk thing, and then said, how are you holding up? And then went into it's not like he acknowledged Charlie Kirk in his response at all. I want to know what the question was that was before the Charlie Kirk question. And honestly, I don't know who that reporter was. Do we know where it's from? I don't know who the reporter was, but it was actually a pretty kindly worded question. So maybe it was Brian Glenn from Real America's Voice, or maybe it was somebody from maybe it was that, what's her name, Kamish or whatever it is, that he said he was yelling at last week about why nobody trusts her and why she's second rate.
Add her to the list.
Yeah, but I don't know who asked the question, but the question was actually posed in a pretty kind and respectful way, and he just whiffed on it. And I'm going to tell you this right now. There are times in the studio, I know that I do this a lot because as a multitasker, the amount of things that I'm trying to do at any given time to help the show function by playing the sound that you hear and uploading, making the video show up on the live stream, and I'm reading your comments, but also, yes, at the same time I'm hosting it. If Ryan is saying something, if I ask Ryan a question and he's talking to me, I'm listening, but it's possible I might miss the very first things that he says because I was transitioning over here. Now, it would be better if I were 100% focused into what Ryan is saying, because usually it's a question that I'm asking him, but it happens. It's natural that it happens. I know I can think of a few times, Ryan, where we've been in the middle of a conversation and you were like, I didn't hear what we were talking. So you just kind of try to play it off. And the amount of times that you do that and there's no consequence to it is 98 out of 100 times.
And look, this president takes questions so much that if this is the worst thing you see from him, that, again, like right before this, they could have been talking about the ballroom.
Can we? Yeah.
And somebody pivots and he goes, wait, hang on, go back to that.
If Joe Biden would have done that, they would have defended him.
Yeah.
If Joe Biden, a senile, likely dementia-ridden old man who didn't even administrate in his presidency, would have done that, they would have defended him. Now, the right would have gone nuts on it and been like, holy cow, what is this? This is a sign of his mental state. In the context of all of the other things that Joe Biden was doing, it would be yet another page in the book of what is going on with this old man. Context matters, and the context surrounding Charlie Kirk and the context surrounding President Trump's relationship with him is undeniable, and Jimmy Kimmel knows that. The point here is that Jimmy Kimmel, you want to talk about insensitive? You want to talk about mourning a man who you disagreed with, a man who Stephen Colbert had the respect to go on his show and talk about how violence is wrong and how Charlie Kirk was a father. Stephen Colbert found it within himself to make a nice statement about Charlie Kirk. Jimmy Kimmel, what did you do? You used it as an opportunity to dunk on MAGA, the MAGA club, or whatever he called it. That's what Jimmy Kimmel chose to do with that moment. And it was the night before we got a text message confession from the killer who said that he was sick and tired of Charlie Kirk's worldview, and he knew that it couldn't be negotiated with it, so it needed to stop. Does it ever occur to the Jimmy Kimmels of the world that when we talk about gun violence, when it's a school shooting, all of these people on the left, like right now where we've got the Caitlin Collinses of the world going, well, we don't know what the motive is yet. The hell we don't know what the motive is yet. Of course we do. How stupid, how obtuse can one person actually be? We know what the motive is because the shooter told us what the motive is. I think a realistic question is how many people helped him along the way? How many people knew that he was pursuing that? That's a question that a real journalist would be asking right now. But an activist would be saying right now, unequivocally, we don't know what the motive is. When we have a school shooting and we don't know who the perpetrator is, how often do we hear, I bet it's a white male. I bet it's a white male that's gone out and done what white males do. I have a question. Why is Jimmy Kimmel not peddling the white male situation right now? Why are we not hearing from more of these people on the left when it's a school shooting? It happened to be a white male. Why is that not part of the discussion right now from the left? Why are we not talking about how white males commit gun violence right now? It's because they cannot have the conversation when you boil everything down to simple demographics. They can't have the conversation right now about being a white male because he was also a white male in what they would call a marginalized community that they don't want to elevate to the front of the conversation. They don't want to make this about the boxes that the left puts people in because it doesn't shake out for them. So they're going to opt out of that. At the end of the day, we're seeing people use Charlie Kirk's words out of context against him about gun violence. We only want to pin the actual crime, the hatred, the anger, the violence that a person chooses to commit. This guy planned this out. He thought about it. He worked it out. He knew what he was doing, and we only want to pin that on someone when it fits the political narrative of the agenda-driven leftist media that has run this country into the grave and brought us to this point. Charlie Kirk right now is not with his family any longer because somebody hated him for what he thought and hated him for what he said. And he was the one who invited people to a microphone to come to the front of the aisle, come to the front of the row, come to the front of the microphone and prove me wrong. Tell me where you're coming from. I'd like to listen to you. That's what Charlie Kirk did. And it was too destructive for this guy to handle it anymore. And we know it because the shooter said so. And the night before, Jimmy Kimmel, oh, I get this guy on the freaking case. What is Jimmy Kimmel doing on a stage and whatever network? He's on ABC, isn't he? Of course he is.
Yeah.
He's on ABC. Jimmy Kimmel, why are you wasting your time on a nighttime show stage when you already knew where the killer was coming from? Get your ass into Utah and start working the case. It took less than 24 hours for you to be proved completely and totally wrong. You're showing your rear end to the entire country, and Charlie Kirk's death is going to bring more people to the attention that you're an absolute fool, a buffoon. You are so emotionally driven by your hatred for Donald Trump and people like me and people like you listening to the show right now who support him. He doesn't know you, but he hates you. That type of hatred motivates people to do entirely crazy things, and it has to stop. Jimmy Kimmel, you're at the epicenter of this problem. You pinned on the MAGA club, the death of Charlie Kirk. You said the shooter was one of us. Now that he's not, what do you have to say for yourself? You going to go in hard on the other side? How would you calculate? How would you qualify the other group that did this to Charlie Kirk? Because I bet you won't. I bet you won't go after white, male, LGBTQ groups of people because it doesn't serve the narrative, which means maybe at the end of the day, the man that pulled the trigger is responsible for his actions. And if it's the man that pulls the trigger that's responsible for the actions, then your gun violence argument doesn't serve itself either. Going back to what Guy Benson said at the beginning of the show, we have to get back to the point where we look at things to be true and real and factual, and then we have to start the discussion. And if you're talking with people right now, especially a week after this tragic event happened, if you're talking to people right now and they are not willing to accept things that are factually true, if they're in your family, if they're your friends, love them, but don't argue about this stuff because it's just not going to materialize in something better for your relationship. You can let them know where you are, but you're not going to change their mind. Until they can accept truth, it's not going to happen. Let's take a quick break. Jeanne Ives is going to be with us when we come back. Lots to talk to her about. Host of The Real Story. You can follow her on Facebook at facebook.com/Jeanne Ives. We'll be right back.
Why do the national tax resolution firms need the tiny fine print at the bottom of all their TV ads? Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. You don't hear fast-talking disclaimers in our ads because the claims we make are 100% transparent. The Lance Drury Law Firm primarily focuses on one thing, IRS problems, and we're regulated by the Bar Association, and we have a AAA rating with the Better Business Bureau. IRS issues are serious legal issues. The Lance Drury Law Firm has helped thousands of clients navigate the best resolution plans, and we tell you up front exactly how much it'll cost. Tax resolution law is all we do. So before you send money to some out-of-town, high-pressure salesperson, give us a call at the Lance Drury Law Firm, located right here in St. Louis. Call today to schedule your free consultation with me, 314-260-6120, or visit LanceDruryLaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
If it's time for new windows, there's only one place to call. That is Window World. Mark Cox here. Call my friends at Window World at 314-993-1800 for your free estimate today. If you have any questions, they'll be glad to send someone out to explain all of it to you. You can even schedule right online at windowworldstl.com. You know, there's a lot of high-interest financing out there, but here's what Window World's doing. Right now, they're offering 18 up to 36 months, same as cash financing with approved credit. You can't beat that. You also get a lifetime warranty that covers all of the parts, the glass breakage, and labor. Who else stands behind their product like that? Over half the appointments Window World will set this year are from previous customers or referrals from those customers. That is a testimony to their customer service, their quality, and their commitment to creating loyal customers. That's what you get with Window World. Call them at 314-993-1800, windowworldstl.com. Mark Cox here. Join me, Mark Reardon, and Annie Fry, along with Thomas Helbig of the Retirement Advisory Group for the last Protecting Your Retirement educational event of the year. It's Thursday, October 2nd at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30. Here's Thomas with more.
Are you nearing retirement or already retired and wondering if your 401k and IRA will last through your lifetime? Do you have your own personalized structured income plan set up? The markets are hitting all-time highs. Would you like to learn how to automatically lock in your gains without having to sell? Did you also know if you're 59 and a half or older, you can roll over your company retirement plan tax-free to protect your nest egg? You'll get all the answers and more. If you're 59 and a half or older, you can't afford to miss the last event of the year.
Protect your retirement nest egg. Join the official financial advisor of my show, Thomas Helbig, at the Frontenac Hilton Thursday, October 2nd at 6:30. Go online to retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. If you're a renter, make sure you're protected. Renter's insurance includes options that cover stolen property, personal injury, and living expenses if your place is damaged. Quote Renter's Insurance at progressive.com.
Annie Fry is back because truth doesn't take a break. 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
I rise today truly heartbroken over the tragic loss of my friend and fellow Illinois native, Charlie Kirk. Charlie was a devoted husband and father, a bold Christian who never backed down from speaking truth peacefully. Charlie inspired millions with his courage and convictions. Because of Charlie, countless young people love America, boldly stand for their faith, and proudly defend our freedoms on college campuses and beyond. His death was not an isolated tragedy. It is part of a disturbing trend in political violence in our country, encouraged by the radical left and amplified by a corrupt media that has gone from being fake to totally evil. As we grieve, let us honor Charlie's legacy by continuing the work he so faithfully championed, and let us lift up his wife and children in our prayers.
Congresswoman Mary Miller, who was on with us yesterday, talking from the House floor, honoring the legacy of Charlie Kirk, yes, an Illinois native. Let's speak to Jeanne Ives, who's back on with us, host of The Real Story, and you can follow her on X at Jeanne Ives. Jeanne, welcome back to the show. Thanks for being with us today.
Thanks so much for having me on.
I wanted to give you an opportunity to talk about Charlie Kirk as an Illinois native. I don't know how well you knew Charlie Kirk, but there are a lot of things taking place up near his hometown right now to honor the starting of Turning Point and Charlie Kirk's legacy, yes, truly as an Illinois native.
Yes, so I met Charlie Kirk at one of his board members, his current board member, Mike Miller's jewelry store in Barrington, when he was just starting out. Charlie was up there talking with him, and I happened to be involved in running for state office at that time. So I was also speaking with Mr. Miller. And, he's like, and Mike introduced him to me. I thought, wow, God bless you. Good luck. But I just felt like it was a huge task he was taking on. But one thing led to another. And now what you see is, a legacy that will not be forgotten and will continue to live on. I think it's important for people to understand he was essentially found by Bill Montgomery, who basically escalated and realized the talent that Charlie had to connect, and sort of co-founded TPUSA with Charlie. And Bill Montgomery discovered him at a Benedictine University time where he was asked to speak by then the founder of the Illinois Tea Party, Denise Catoni, invited Charlie to speak in front of a crowd of students. And he was immediately mobbed afterwards because he was the sensation, not these other folks that were more older, or maybe more wiser, but people were just enthralled by Charlie. That's when Bill Montgomery knew he had a special something, and they started TPUSA together. In Lamont, where that was all started out, there was a memorial. In Arlington Heights, there was a massive memorial celebration on the 14th of September for Charlie. But unfortunately, at his own high school, Wheeling High School, a group of people put together a petition to memorialize Charlie Kirk. And at the same time, there was immediately a counter petition posted to not memorialize Charlie Kirk at his Wheeling High School. Now, this is so offensive in so many ways because nobody has touched more youth than Charlie Kirk, and not just in the country, but across the world.
Yeah, that's absolutely accurate. His reach. I don't know that Charlie, I know he knew that he had a lot of power and a lot of influence because his message resonated, and his power and his influence was really through the grassroots, which means it's really through the people who support Charlie Kirk. And he gave them a platform. It's like your story talking about Charlie Kirk being given a platform. He in turn did that to so many people, especially young people across the country. And what does the left fear more than the grassroots movement that can't be manipulated by media, that can't be manipulated by talking points that come from the opposition party? I'm curious, we downstate in Illinois, we're red. That's pretty much the way it is for the most part down here. Down south of I-80 for sure. It's a red state. Going forward into this midterm election for the country, but an important statewide election for the state of Illinois, I got to think that President Trump was amplifying the difference between red and blue before Charlie Kirk was killed. But with Charlie Kirk coming from that Arlington Heights, Illinois area and having his own high school want to acknowledge Charlie Kirk and then having the opposition rise up in the same moment, I have to think that more people in the state of Illinois specifically are asking themselves, where am I really at on all of these issues now in the wake of Charlie Kirk's assassination than maybe they ever have been?
Well, they certainly should be. And I do think that he has made some converts to his message, at least some people who are thinking again. But unfortunately, there's way too many folks who are already, they're still harboring, they're still putting out lies about Charlie Kirk's statements. They're putting out lies about who the shooter was. They're putting out lies saying that Charlie was the divisive one. And this is the problem, right? And they're actually continuing the lies that Charlie was trying to debunk every single day. So Charlie cared about the nuances of public policy and their impact on the people. And he was willing to be self-taught enough to go 4 layers down on a policy position so that he knew what he knew. And when he was in front of youth who will not be bamboozled, who will question you to eternity about your position and take you down all sorts of rabbit holes, Charlie knew that he had to know the core principles of the structure, the core principles of our Constitution. He had to be able to articulate that to a very questioning youth. And so what he did took a lot of effort, a lot of practice in engaging the youth, and a lot of courage, quite frankly. But he did it. Unfortunately, I mean, you can look at anything from the transgender issue to green energy scams to why are we bailing out student loans still? You can look at all these issues and still the left does not tell the truth about them. And so that's where we have to come in and tell the truth to the youth. And unfortunately, I still think that too many of our schools are not telling the truth, are still, socially transitioning kids behind parents' backs in the state of Illinois who still don't know the truth about abortion or anything. I mean, you name the topic, they are not telling the truth about it because they don't want to know the truth.
We're speaking with Jeanne Ives, and you can check out her The Real Story show. I want to know what you think about the state of the Republican Party in Illinois. And I know that you have been very critical, rightfully so critical, of the organization of the GOP. I know that you are supporting and helping Ted Dabrowski, who was on our show last Friday and announced his run for governor. You have run for governor. I think, what was it, less than 2 percentage points that you came in against Bruce Rauner as a primary candidate for an incumbent Republican governor. I think that we got about 3 minutes into the actual election against J.B. Pritzker before that election was called for Pritzker. Rauner never stood a chance at re-election, but you came very close to defeating him. What do you want? We're talking about grassroots here. You're talking to the listeners of the St. Louis Metro East area. What do you want them to know about how they can fill in where maybe the disorganization of the Illinois Republican Party cannot?
So the grassroots are really important. I consider myself a grassroots leader, really. But I am, of course, I'm on the state central committee, so I know what's going on there. And I think that part of the deal is that I think the grassroots assume that the state party should be doing certain things that they really are not responsible for. And so there's a little bit of a disconnect. So the grassroots actually needs to help us do the work in the field. They need to be the connection to the voter. And I encourage them to sign up and be precinct committeemen. And if you feel like your township's not doing a good job in that regard, then be the leader in that township. Take over your townships if you want to. But the connection with the voters must be broken down precinct by precinct. It's just a natural way to do it. You have authority to go to the doors and do it. We need to register new voters. You should form registration voter drives. You should sit out at your festivals with a table saying, I'm here to register voters. We're taking all, come on. And then you need to help connect with the voters. And you have to encourage the vote by mail ballot. If you have voters that, and I know I don't like vote by mail either, I get it, but it's unfortunately what we're forced to deal with here. And so if you can bank those votes early, then I encourage you to do that. But it takes multiple touches to voters who only showed up for Trump and think that they can sit this out. And so I would actually like Donald Trump to come in and tell Illinois voters, you can't sit out the 2026 election. You can't sit out any election. You can't vote for me in November and then not show up 5 months later in your consolidated elections and have woke school boards get put into office by teacher unions because you failed to show up. So I want the grassroots to become consistent, regular voters and to encourage others peoples to do that. That's the best work that they can do. They're also the best way to prevent voter fraud because if they're a committeeman, they check that list before, they check that list after, they look for phantom voters, they look for, voters who same day registered and then off the list the next day, the next time, and they try and figure it out with the help of the party. And because the party is not going away, the party has the legal authority to do what the party can do, and we need the grassroots to work with us in doing that.
Amen to that. And you've heard Ted Dabrowski's announcement, of course. What do you support about Ted Dabrowski? Why do you think that he might be the right guy for Illinois? Anybody's better than J.B. Pritzker, bar none. But what does Ted Dabrowski offer?
Well, he's a Polish guy who speaks fluent Spanish.
He knows some things.
Honestly, that's a complete asset. He's been on Spanish radio in Chicago area articulating the issues so that people understand how they're getting scammed by the government at every turn, especially in the schools. And, he will never, Ted's the right guy. And you hear a lot of people saying, well, what if he doesn't have a Democrat legislature to work with? Well, the governorship in the state of Illinois, as you know, is very powerful. Look at all the executive orders that Pritzker, without any legislative authority, did in the wake of COVID and just said, we're shutting you down, we're shutting you out. There was no legislation on that. There was no vote on that. He just did it. Well, the truth is you need somebody like Ted who is going to go in there, and the first thing he's going to do is a sort of Doge exercise to actually root out all the fraud, waste, and abuse. And I'm talking about there's serious fraud, waste, and abuse. We've done a Doge Illinois effort. We've identified over $1 billion going to bogus non-government organizations. Those can be immediately cut. He can run the agencies more efficiently. He can root out the corruption along with the Edgar County watchdogs and their work. I mean, these are people, you have great people doing good work on public policy, but we don't have a legislature or a governor who wants to listen to that. And so Ted would have a lot of authority if he got into office to just sort of clean up the mess, line item veto, bogus spending, and he'd have the bully pulpit, which is really important because the media, I'm sorry, they will have to listen to him. Yeah. They will have to carry that message, and he can carry that message straight into the Spanish people, straight down to the south side of Chicago. And so, he's different in that he attracts people because he has just been this policy wonk who he's one of the kindest men I've ever met, honestly, in this world, because this world can get a little nasty. Sure. And he's just stayed above the fray, stayed on what's best for people. And his goals are really to bring back freedom and prosperity to Illinoisans. And so I stand 100% behind Ted.
I appreciate that insight. And I would like if he finds his way down our neck of the woods, I would like to, any of the candidates that are running in this primary that are, taken seriously, I would like to potentially host some sort of town hall question and answer with them so that the people of downstate can make sure they have the opportunity to meet these candidates so they can be informed as early as possible. So extend that to him if you see him around.
Will do.
All right. Mm-hmm. Jeanne Ives, it's always a pleasure to speak with you. Thanks for being with us today.
Thanks for having me on.
Come back again. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Okay.
Jeanne Ives, host of The Real Story. You can find her on Facebook at facebook.com/Jeanne Ives. That's Jeanne Ives. We're going to take a break. Ryan's coming back in. Here's the poll question for today, the Annie Fry YouTube live chat poll. Will more arrests be made in the wake of Charlie Kirk's murder? You think they got the guy and that's it? Or are there going to be some more charges filed with other people? Yes or no? That's the options that you have for today. We'll be right back. HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com. If you are interested in having Matt Hayes come out and look at the situation with your concrete, Matt can come out and look at it and tell you, oh, this is absolutely something we can fix it. We can fix it in a day, no big deal. Or he can be like, you know what, I think this is a little bit bigger than polyjacking can fix. So you're not getting yourself into anything over your head or whatever until you know what Matt Hayes and Home Shield Foundation Repairs can do for you. They use polyjacking, which injects polyurethane foam underneath the concrete that you have that's been cracked, that's become unlevel. It's a danger. It's a safety hazard. They level it up with this polyurethane foam. It raises it up, it levels it out, and it comes with a 5-year warranty. So you can trust that it's going to stand up, the work is going to be quality, and you're going to get to meet Matt Hayes and his great team of locals here. It's a family-owned business right here in St. Louis, ready to help you with the uneven concrete at your home. 314-227-9636, 314-227-9636, HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com.
If you suffer from burning, tingling, or numb feet, pay special attention as we discuss neuropathy with Dr. Patton, D.C. Doctor, what is neuropathy?
Peripheral neuropathy is nerve damage to the feet and legs.
What are the symptoms?
The symptoms are numbness, burning, tingling, pain, and loss of balance.
Is neuropathy treatable?
It's absolutely treatable, and we have amazing results.
If you have burning, tingling, numbness, coldness in your feet or hands or balance issues, call us at Comprehensive Integrated Health today for a nerve damage screening. The screening will tell if you're at risk for serious complications and if you're a candidate for our cutting-edge treatment program. Don't wait until your symptoms are so severe nothing can be done. End-stage neuropathy leaves people confined to walkers, wheelchairs, and even amputations. The first 10 callers will receive a free nerve damage screening. Call 636-538-5188. That's 636-538-5188 for your free nerve damage screening. 636-538-5188.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-908-8646 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-908-8646. That's 800-908-8646. What do you have to lose? Call 800-908-8646. Again, 800-908-8646.
As we do every day, today's YouTube live chat poll is something that we'd like you to weigh in on. It's, will more arrests be made in the wake of Charlie Kirk's murder? Here is Jackie, who's already left a comment on this topic. She says no, though they aren't revealing all the evidence. There's a lot of questionable information. Let us know what you think about this topic. It is 12:41. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
For details and a list of all station contest rules, visit www.971talk.com/rules. From Festus to Freeburg, 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Well, this song can only mean one thing. Ryan and Brad have an announcement.
Oh, yeah. It's not about a baby, and it's not about Britney Spears. It actually is not connected to that song in any way whatsoever. But Brad and I have chosen to celebrate today. Today is a very special day in America and around the world. It is half St. Patrick's Day. So if you see in the
this is what
the
I
camera.
gave my show over to you for.
In the cameras there, we're both wearing green shirts and green hats.
True.
And this is a day because it's exactly 6 months from St. Patrick's Day, last and forward, exactly 6 months.
I want people listening to the show right now to understand that off the air, Ryan made it seem like there was something important he needed to share and acknowledge, and I didn't know what it was. So the decision to ask Ryan to acknowledge whatever said thing was an uninformed and apparently wrong decision on my part.
So if you're not wearing green today, you might get pinched, but only half, because it's only half St. Patrick's Day.
It's a poke.
It's more of a poke, and this is a long tradition in St. Patrick's Day history of celebrating half St. Patrick's Day, because so many people are only partially Irish, so they can't celebrate the full St. Patrick's Day in March. They celebrate today. As such, Brad and I are wearing green.
This is your segment, buddy.
Brad, anything to add?
You better have more than that. I can't believe.
It's
I
not
cannot
butter?
believe. I believe that it's not butter more than I believe this segment.
No, this is real. This happened today. It was definitely not an accident that both of us showed up wearing green and then had a discussion about when is St. Patrick's Day and realized that
Time out.
Today was 6
Was
months.
it an accident?
I can't confirm or deny that.
No, you're gonna.
This is a long-held tradition, and we are celebrating it.
Did you both come to work accidentally wearing green and then you made this up? I need that to be the truth. The
Brad?
fact that you planned it is more frustrating to me.
There is 0% of me that would actually plan this.
Brad and I have never, ever planned to wear similar clothes. Maybe on Halloween if we had some sort of costume, but
What
I don't
about
even
on your
think that's
anniversary?
true. We are not married.
We don't
have
want to
no
wear. Well, we
anniversary.
don't want to wear the same thing on our anniversary.
You don't have to
anyway.
be married to have an anniversary.
What is it called if it's an anniversary of friendship? A friend-iversary?
An anniversary?
It's still just an anniversary. But it's like such a lame thing to celebrate.
Did you just burp?
A friend of mine, we know the first day we ever met, and it was when we were in 7th grade, and we do call that our maniversary. But aside from that,
I think you're the first person to ever say that.
possibly.
You asked if this was going to be a short segment.
I did.
It's over.
Is it?
Yeah. We're going to break. Weekends America next, and hopefully better than this one. I cannot believe that we just celebrated half St. Patrick's Day, and you baited me into thinking you had something important to say.
That's the best.
Timeline cleanse. We'll be right back.
Tell me, baby, 'cause I need to know now, because my loneliness is killing me.
Stewie, send help, please. My gosh. Seriously.
The worst part of that was, did you burp? Because I did.
You did burp. Yes. You were in the motel. I could use some no closing costs on a mortgage loan right now.
Darn right.
Yeah, that would make me feel better. If you would have told me in that segment about your mortgage, I would have been more interested. That's the fact.
I don't know that was a best of.
You
I'll
told
give
me-
you that.
You told me before we started the show that you were working with Stewie or about to work with Stewie.
Yeah,
And you
that's
were
true.
all in on how Stewie's the guy. And you were telling me how Stewie, he's going to connect with you. He's going to look after you. He's going to take care of you. And that's why you're choosing Stewie for some mortgage stuff. Yeah, I would have rather just had that conversation on the air in that last segment.
We could have it now. I'm looking at some refinances with him. And
You're not getting paid for this,
We're
by the
waiting.
way.
No, I'm not.
No, this is paid back.
We're waiting for the Fed announcement today because it's going to affect a lot. So I think he's watching it closely, which is what I appreciate.
I imagine when you say that he's really close to his television. I'm sorry, Stewie. He's going to be in the studio with us next tomorrow, right? Is that right?
Yes.
314-324-4440. If you're interested in a bagel loan, basically it's a new mortgage or a mortgage refinance, and it doesn't cost you anything to do it. There's no closing costs. There's no fees at the end. He covers that for you. If you want to know the absolute total fine print details on the truth that there are no closing costs, he will tell you in great detail. I've done it twice. No closing costs each time. Stewie's there to make sure that you are taken care of. Ryan knows that, and that's why he was talking about going with him again. 314-324-4440, 314-324-4440. That last segment not brought to you by Stewart's American Mortgage, but this show, in a way, at least as of now.
Because of the whole show it
Still.
was.
No,
That's
no,
great.
No, don't make him change his mind. I'm his client, and he's mine, and we're happy to be partnered together. 314-324-4440. Google the bagel loan, NMLS number 226715.
Mark Reardon isn't here to echo talking points. He challenges them. Smart, fast, and always original. The Mark Reardon Show. Weekdays at 3 on 97.1 FM Talk. St. Louis Conservative.
Gain peace of mind that your flooring and carpet installation will be done right the first time when you hire the experts at Michael's Flooring Outlet. They give all their clients attentive personal service, even bring toys for the kids of the household. It's a family-owned and operated business for 25-plus years. They make sure you make the right choice for your home. So if you have carpets or hard floors, you're going to be happy for years to come. 3 convenient locations in St. Charles County, 116 Main Street, in Old Town St. Peters at Mid-Rivers and Highway 70, in West County on Olive, and the store in Darden Prairie. Michael's Flooring Outlet, igotfloor.com.
Everyone needs to have at least one person in their corner in life. When you don't, it's an extremely lonely and frightening place to be. But knowing you have that one person gives you peace and hope. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Since 1988, myself and my firm have been in so many corners for so many clients for so many years. We became the largest injury firm in the world for a reason, and it's not even close. We fought like hell for you. We fight the bullies, automobile insurance companies, the makers of unsafe products, medical providers who injured or killed their own patients. It has been such an honor and made my life complete. If you ever need us, it's easy. On your mobile device or computer, visit forthepeople.com, and then we get to work 24/7. Whether you're hurt in a car crash, injured on the job, or have questions about your Social Security, we're here for you. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results. Every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
Hey guys, it's Mark Reardon. If you're struggling with low energy, performance issues, or weight gain, Game Day Men's Health has got you covered with testosterone therapy, ED treatments, and more in all of a relaxed man cave environment. At Game Day, you'll get a free testosterone test and consultation, all in just 1 hour. Game Day is the premier men's health clinic with locations in Chesterfield, O'Fallon, Missouri, and Glen Carbon, Illinois. Visit GameDayMen'sHealth.com. That's GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Get back in the game with Game Day Men's Health.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Wiggins! All right, these are mistakes you might be making, according to AOL and their finance department.
I wish I could make the AOL noise.
Go ahead.
That's not bad.
That wasn't not bad. You were doing it a little quiet because you were embarrassed.
I was not confident.
You have the floor.
Nope.
Okay.
Beep, 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 beep.
Just go for it. Like that. Live life on the edge.
Wait, this is like when you went all in on corn, and it was maybe the best thing the show has ever done.
Corn with a K.
There is not a single thing in my life that I do with as much confidence as you delivered that corn thing.
Corn with a K.
I am incredibly envious of your courage.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
These are ways to not talk about money with your family members, according to the AOL Finance Department. I want to know whether you agree with these things. First of all would be, and this is probably more extended family, but it would apply to your immediate family too, criticizing others for spending money on hobbies.
Just mind your own dang business, folks.
That seems kind of obvious.
Yeah.
I mean, why would you criticize others for spending money on hobbies? Unless it's directly related to your own house finances, then it's like, well, we got to manage that. But beyond that, I'm not really sure why you would do that. The second one is asking how much a big purchase costs. Now, this to me is okay internally. You have to have these discussions with your spouse, maybe with your kids.
Oh, certainly.
Yeah.
I think one of the interesting conversations for something like that, there are times where I'll be talking to my parents and, maybe it's like Social Security or whatever. They have these things called pensions. And I'm like, oh.
Pension?
Pension. It's a French socialism. Just kidding.
French for
Just
old-fashioned.
kidding. I'm jealous. That's all it is envy. My husband is a public school teacher in Illinois. He's going to get a pension. Probably not. Oh, weird. But I think it's important, like at 40, there are money questions that I'll ask my parents because they're ahead of me in life, obviously, but there are things that I want to know about what's coming next, maybe with Social Security or how that works. And I always feel uncomfortable asking them, but if the moment is right and if we're in the conversation, if we're talking about money or something like that, I'll ask them, and they trust me to not be like, I'm going to tell everybody on the radio.
Is there any context in which somebody makes a big purchase, and it's fun. It's not even something bad.
Like a car?
Somebody makes a big purchase on a car, a boat, or just something they've been dreaming of that you can ask, how much was it?
No. Well, I think the only way you can do that is if you and the other person are doing the same thing in life and you have the same finances and you're really close. Like really wealthy people will probably do that because you're not asking that question like, oh, what did you sacrifice to get that car? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Because the question about what you paid for something, for me, if somebody asked me that, the question would then be followed by, not followed, but I would perceive there to be judgment about things that they thought I should. Like I spend money on my kids' school tuition. I spend a lot of money for 4 kids to go to parochial school. Now I think it's worth every penny and it's way more affordable than people think it is, but it's a sacrifice and it has to come before everything else. If people want to ask me about that, I'm going to tell them because I'm going to want them to know this is what it costs us, but maybe also this is how it could be more affordable if it's not something that's workable. So I think it kind of depends on what it is.
I want to be wealthy enough to wear a sweater wrapped around my shoulders, but not wear it. Like just walk around with a sweater draped over me, like they did in the 80s, all the rich people.
I think you can get a Hanes sweatshirt for about $6.50.
But can I pull it off? Because yes, I could wear it, but
I
then
don't
people
think
wouldn't assume I was wealthy.
But that's a question you need to ask.
And be like, how
Just
much was
walk
your
around
yacht?
with the same confidence you had when you were doing corn.
Everybody used
With
to
a
call
kid.
each other Buffy back then. That was before they were all vampire slayers. I love that about the
Let's
80s.
get Ethan to come in here and explain that to us.
Discussing salary details.
Mm-mm.
Can't do that, right?
Mm-mm.
You can't do that with extended family unless they're openly sharing that with you. But that would be a conversation, even not salary so much as just overall finances with your parents.
I think that as long as you have a trust-based relationship with your parents, I think that's appropriate for learning. Or if you're like asking your parents for money, they might have reasonable questions to ask you about your situation. But there's nothing good ever comes of it. The curiosity that you have is a judgment that you want to make relative to yourself about another person. It's not necessary. Don't give yourself that permission.
What about failing to properly communicate when it comes to splitting costs with your family? I just actually had this issue with a guy's trip this weekend where I wasn't really sure who was paying for what. And we all got done and we were all like, what are we supposed to do?
It's because you didn't have any women involved.
We did not discuss it at all. And certain people paid for a lot more, and I guess we had to just kind of figure it out. I don't know if we all
Did you
came
do
out
that?
even.
Are you still friends?
We did. Most of us are not friends anymore. Well, they're all friends, but not with me.
Oh,
because I didn't pay my part.
Wow, this is shocking.
But I got a free trip out of it.
It ended nicely.
It did. It really was. It was great. It was the last year we'll ever do it. Bringing up money in the wrong setting is the last one. Just that there are times where bringing up money, even if it's a fine conversation, is just not for now. And there you go from AOL's finance department. Telling you, that's actually not bad.
I want you to say it's good. If I'm going to do something, I need to do it great.
I need a little bit more commitment to it.
I don't
for it to
have
be
it
good.
in me.
It's not bad when you're still, testing it out.
I need to do that off the air.
Okay.
I'll practice tonight.
Do it with Deroy.
Deroy Murdock, next on the Andy Fry Show.
Today I heard you.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/radio to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/radio for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
Spiders are really, really scary. They're so scary. Get rid of them. That's why I called Point Pest Control. That's pretty much it. That's all I really got to say. Maybe other than the phone number, 636-798-0023. I wanted them all dead. All of them. And I know that bothers some people. but
I
they're
bet
not in
you
my
hate
home.
Halloween.
I don't love the spider thing.
Okay.
And I always have to say when I'm talking about spiders, and you people all get cute, and you're like, here, he needs a picture of a spider. I'll just block you. I'll never see that spider or you again. So don't do that. Which is why I called Point Pest Control, because they blocked all the spiders out of my house. The products that they use are all approved by the EPA. In short, this means that the treatments are proven to be effective without using chemicals that can cause lasting health issues in humans. Their technicians prioritize safety and comfort of your family and pets during the services above all else. Invite them into your home to take care of your spider problem. You see one spider, you call Point Pest Control and you tell them I sent you. They'll know. 636-798-0023. Point with an E, pointpestcontrol.com.
That baby's gone! Cardinals fans, FanDuel Sports Network is your home of the Cardinals. That ball was mashed. And there are more ways to watch this season. Holy cow! Subscribe directly to FanDuel Sports Network to stream the Cardinals without blackouts. How about that play? Or watch through a TV provider. Incredible! Including DirecTV, Spectrum, Xfinity, Fubo, and more. He got it! Learn more at cardinals.com/TV. Ball game! It couldn't have worked out any better for the Cardinals.
This is Todd Krentz with Krentz Financial Group. For over 6 decades, we have helped St. Louis families and businesses plan with purpose and live with confidence. Selling your business is a major milestone. Before and after the sale, our role is to help cut through complexity and create a clear financial strategy focused on your legacy. We often coordinate with your attorney and CPA to ensure everything is aligned so your plan not only fits today, but continues working for you in the future. Your goals, our mission. Start today at kfgadvisors.com.
Securities offered through Raymond James Financial Servicing. Member FINRA/SIPC. Krentz Financial Group is not a broker-dealer.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-500-5000.
That's 314-500-5000.
All on the free Odyssey app.
Follow the money. Lisa Brady, Fox News. That from the FBI director pledging to investigate any groups accused of promoting political violence.
Investigatively speaking, we are doing the following. We are following the money. We are following the money in every organization and every person that is violating the federal code. And it doesn't matter what your background or ideology is, we are following the money.
This as the federal probe of Charlie Kirk's killing continues, including people who are in a group chat with suspect Tyler Robinson on the gaming chat platform Discord, which says it's fully cooperating with law enforcement.
And while Discord also has steps where users can report inappropriate behavior, some tech experts say social media platforms like Discord need to be doing more to monitor the type of content being posted. The chairman of the House Oversight and Government Reform Committee, James Comer, has invited the CEOs of Discord, Steam, Twitch, and Reddit to testify at a hearing on October 8th about the radicalization of online forum users.
Fox Business's Max Gordon, the FBI chief spending a second day on Capitol Hill, while the fired CDC director, Susan Menarez, is telling a Senate panel that Health Secretary Kennedy wanted her to fire career officials and rubber stamp vaccine policy.
My worst fear was that I would then be in a position of approving something that would reduce access of life-saving vaccines to children and others who need them.
An HHS spokesperson accuses Menarez of acting maliciously to undermine the president's agenda and refusing to help restore the CDC's core mission. A Fox News alert from the Fed, which has just announced a rate cut for the first time since December, a quarter-point cut, as many economists were expecting after recent signs of a cooling labor market. President Trump has criticized the Fed chief as too late for the central bank not cutting its benchmark rate sooner. America is listening to Fox News.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. Stroke risk may increase. Eliquis can cause serious and potentially fatal bleeding. Don't take if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or bleed longer. A spinal injection increases blood clot risk, which may cause paralysis. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or bruising, or back pain, tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, or incontinence. Aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Partly sunny skies, kind of hot, moderate humidity this afternoon, and nothing more than a spot thunderstorm. Don't even be concerned about it. 95 for the high, 68, clear skies tonight. Thursday, instant replay, the exact same thing, 95, but the blocky pattern breaks down late Thursday night and Friday with scattered showers and thunderstorms. 85 for the high on Friday. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
The Annie Fry Show is sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Air Comfort Service is hiring licensed journeymen. Don't have a journeyman license? Air Comfort Service will help you get it. Get guaranteed hours year-round and more. Apply online at aircomfortservice.com.
Annie Fry, Ryan Wiggins, Brad Ray.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
For goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
Welcome back to our show on 97.1 FM Talk. We're glad that you are here. A beautiful day outside. And if you're spending some lunchtime with us, we're grateful for it. A reminder, you can stream us anywhere you go on the Odyssey app in crystal clear connection. We are happy to have you there. We just found out from Trisha that on Sunday, I believe she said it was, on Sunday, they're going to, 97.1 is going to carry the Charlie Kirk Memorial. This is like the official memorial that President Trump will be speaking at, J.D. Vance will be speaking at. Fox News is carrying that, and we, as the St. Louis's Fox News radio affiliate, will be we're very pleased to be able to provide that for you. So keep it here on Sunday.
Anchored coverage starting, we think, at about noon.
Yeah.
Although I think things are a little fluid right now, but we're looking at probably about noon that would begin.
That's going to be a really interesting thing to see the president memorializing Charlie Kirk.
Yeah. I don't know what their relationship was. They obviously were friends and friendly. But I just don't know what that meant. I think it meant something different to Charlie Kirk to know Trump than it meant for Trump to know Charlie Kirk. Not that there was like a transactional relationship, but a lot of things in politics are. But it will be interesting to see if Trump speaks personally what Charlie Kirk's life meant to him.
Yeah. Well, before we get to our next guest here, the Fed has just come back and they have cut rates for the first time in Trump's second term. I'm reading here briefly by 25 points. So we'll get to more of that coverage after our next guest, because we'll wait and see what some of the reaction is and bring some of that to you. I want to get to our friend Deroy Murdock, who is a nationally syndicated columnist, Project 21 ambassador, Fox News contributor. Deroy, when we spoke to you last week, it was probably about 25 minutes before Charlie Kirk had been shot and assassinated. And I wanted to give you the opportunity to talk about your experience in that moment and what Charlie Kirk, like, what was your reflection of the man who did so much for the conservative movement?
Absolutely, yeah. We wrapped up at 2:20 Eastern, I think, and I believe he was shot at 12:23 Mountain Time, which would be 2:23 Eastern Time. So I think we hung up the phone about 3 minutes before that bullet rang out and killed him. So I mean, it was almost contemporaneous. I was at my office at Fox News, and the reports started coming out maybe 15, 20 minutes later. I got an email saying Charlie Kirk shot. I thought, oh, my God, look, amazing. Turned on my TV on my desk in my office. And, of course, we didn't know early on, was he just shot in the shoulder? Was he grazed? And, of course, we eventually got the horrible news that he was killed. And then, of course, we got video of him, which a number of angles of which I saw where you see him actually getting hit. And it's absolutely horrific. And, a lot of people say don't look at the footage. I think people should look at the footage and understand that when we talk about assassination or murder of any kind, it's not like a magic bullet hits somebody, the angel wings pop out, the person just ascends to heaven. I mean, it's a big, bloody, nasty mess. And the people who've been jumping up and down and celebrating and cheering and saying, ding dong, Charlie's dead, and smiling and laughing and dancing, I'm not sure those people saw what the actual carnage is of what it's like to have somebody hit by a bullet and have blood suddenly gushing out of his neck. It's nasty, awful, horrific stuff. And, of course, this was in front of his wife and his kids. And I'm not sure if his 1-year-old was old enough to understand what was happening. I imagine the 3-year-old was, and that poor little girl is probably going to have those images in her head the rest of her life. And so that's the how can I say, the horror and the ugliness of what happened to me, I would have expected that the response from the left would have been, look, we didn't agree with the man on anything, but we have condolences for his family and for his friends and those people who supported him. And instead, something I did not expect was just this outpouring of joy and excitement and glee on the part of so many people on the left who've put out social media posts cheering about this, people who showed up, I think, yesterday or the day before at the Turning Point USA headquarters, where they've got candles and flowers and so on in front of their Charlie Kirk's former office, jumping up and down and breaking the candles and kicking the flowers around. I mean, this response on the part of too many people on the left, I was not prepared to see. I didn't think I'd see anything like this. You'd think at a minimum, if they didn't like the man and disagreed with him, they could keep their mouths shut. But a lot of these people are unable to do that, and all that has done is just increase rancor and tension and anxiety in this country, which is the last thing we need.
Yeah. I think that it's jarring for everybody to see somebody specifically of Charlie's ilk who was going into a place that is traditionally against conservative values, university after university, campus after campus, and setting up a simple table with a microphone that he holds, that he would sit down so that he could listen and the other person could understand, okay, Charlie's listening to me now. This is my turn to speak. And he was doing it in a very welcoming way. Now, if people wanted to disagree with him, of course, he'd have lively debate, but he was never disrespectful in it. I think that there are a lot of people who have hovered in the middle who maybe have never been able to truly warm up to Donald Trump, but also know that the radical nature of the people driving the Democrat Party from within. There's a lot of people right now that are asking themselves some reflective questions about not necessarily this policy or that, but more so, can I be associated with this group of people or do I need to be associated with that?
Yeah, this is happening. I think people are seeing the response of so many people on the left, and we're talking about hundreds of people, if not thousands, who've been posting things on social media, people who've been caught and then been fired. And so on. And a lot of people are saying, look, we've had it. This is the last straw. We want nothing to do with these crazy radical leftists. And I understand in some states we're seeing a huge increase in Republican Party registration. I believe Pennsylvania was one state and maybe Nevada. I just saw something on this YouTube video on it. And apparently the new GOP registrations are running 4-1 over new Democrat registrations. So a lot of people have said, you know what, this is it. We've had it. We're out of here. They're turning their backs on the Democrat Party because of so many people among Democrats, among Democrat lawmakers, among certainly professors on high school campuses, college campuses, employers, and so on, are just, again, if you have nothing good to say about Charlie Kirk, just keep your mouth shut. I'm sure a lot of us have uncharitable comments or views about other people, and this, as the saying goes, you have nothing good to say, don't say anything at all. And some people just can't do that, and so they've come out and they've been high-fiving each other over Charlie Kirk being killed. We also saw yesterday here in New York City when Luigi Mangione was in court in a pretrial hearing, and the judge threw out the terrorism charge against him. And there were a bunch of people standing out in front of the courthouse cheering and literally high-fiving each other, hugging each other, and saying, hooray, hooray, the terrorism charge has been shot. Of course, he's the man who's accused of shooting United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson in the back while the guy was just walking into a hotel convention to give a speech. And there are people, he's got his fan club out there, the Luigi fan club. And this guy is accused of killing this poor man, a husband, a father. I believe he's in the late 40s, early 50s. He's dead now. And he's got a whole cadre of people who think that Luigi Mangione is a really cool guy because they don't agree with the nation's healthcare system. And for that, the CEO of United Healthcare that it's okay and appropriate to shoot him in the back and kill him. So you see that on the left. You don't see that on the right. You've noticed, by the way, the response since Charlie Kirk was shot a week ago, almost to the minute. All the cities that have burned down, the police stations that the conservatives have burned down, all the windows broken by young Republicans. And wait a minute, none of that has happened. That's right, that happened after George Floyd riots. This happened after just a couple of months ago in Los Angeles with the ICE raids against illegal alien criminals in Southern California. And you had attacks on federal buildings. You had attacks on ICE cars and people throwing rocks at ICE vehicles as they were driving by. You had those Waymo self-driving vehicles, which were summited downtown Los Angeles, and 3 of them were set on fire and roasted all the way down to their foundation. I mean, just completely burned all the way to the ground. You see that on the left. You don't see people on the right doing like that. But please find me an example of anybody on the right who's lit one match, thrown a pebble, or put so much as a pencil mark on any building in this country over the last week. I haven't seen it. I've seen prayer vigils. I've seen people singing patriotic songs. I've seen people having moments of silence. That's what happens on the right. You don't see that on the left. You see the chaos. You don't see that sort of thing on the right, hardly ever. Of course, they'll point to January 6th, as they always do, which is, I was on the air with you when that happened, and we denounced the violence when it took place. They always point to January 6th, and you look for other examples, and they really can't come up with any.
We're speaking with Deroy Murdock, nationally syndicated columnist, Fox News contributor, and Project 21 ambassador. We had a poll question earlier this week that was, is this a both sides issue? I think that we don't believe it to be certainly not an equally both sides issue, but I want to know what you think that Republicans, conservatives, moderates who want to not be associated with the type of vitriol that's out there right now, how do they use this moment knowing that Charlie is not with us anymore, but his movement may never have been stronger than it is right now? How do you take this moment and parlay it into something incredibly effective and positive?
Well, I think the best thing we can do is do what Charlie Kirk did, which is speak up, participate in public events, participate in campaigns, knock on doors. If you're able to, run for office, make donations, do what you and I do, which is go on radio and television and write articles about this sort of thing, and engage in the exact civic activity and political activity that Charlie Kirk did until he was killed, and which Turning Point USA, I think, is continuing to do even today, or certainly will after his funeral next Sunday. The best way to respond to this is not to buckle under and be silenced, which I think was the message, which is Charlie Kirk, shut up, and the rest of us shut up, and the left telling us all to shut up. I think what we ought to do is continue acting as citizens of the United States of America, practicing our First Amendment rights to speak out on the important issues of the day, and do what we can to elect the candidates we think will be best suited to advance freedom and prosperity in this country. I think that's the best way to handle it, and do so with our heads held high, with pride and with energy and vigor. I think that's exactly how to proceed from this point forward.
Deroy, we're always grateful for your voice here, and we thank you once again this week for being with us.
Very good. Good to talk to you again.
You as well. Bye-bye. Deroy Murdock, nationally syndicated columnist, Project 21 ambassador, Fox News contributor. Quick break. We'll be back in just a minute. Let's discuss the YouTube poll for today. Will more arrests be made in the wake of Charlie Kirk's murder? Yesterday, we listened to the charges from the district attorney. He later in the day was arraigned, and it does seem that they have Robinson dead to rights, but the question is, was he assisted? Was he aided? Was he abetted? Will there be more arrests? Go vote. Leave us a comment in the Annie Fry YouTube live chat poll. We'd love to hear from you. Read some of your comments on the air as well. We'll be right back. The Retirement Advisory Group, we're having another event. It's the last one of the year. I'd love to see you there. October 2nd, Thursday at 6:30 p.m. So I'm going to get there at about 6 o'clock, and I'm going to try to meet each of you before the event begins. So spend about 30 minutes with a pleasant opportunity for me to meet you. I would love that, so we can have a little discussion, and I can learn a little bit about you, and thank you for coming. So the event starts at 6:30. It goes for maybe 45 minutes. It does not take up your whole evening. It does not cost you anything. Bring friends. Just register your spot so that they make sure they have enough supplies and room at the Frontenac Hilton to accommodate you. Also enough snacks, because they have snacks as well. You can call to reserve your place at 314-993-9494. It's a Protecting Your Retirement educational event. Mark Cox, Mark Reardon, and myself will be there starting at 6 to 6:30, but you're going to spend 45 minutes or so listening to Bob and Tammy Kershaw and Thomas Helbig explain to you how they can help you protect your retirement. Get the peace of mind you need when it's time to transition into retirement. You deserve it. Reserve your spot at 314-993-9494, retirementkey.com.
To have a roof over your head, a nice roof over your head, is very important.
That's Rick talking about his experience with Rhino Shield ceramic coating.
We got Rhino Shield 18 years ago, and they were very cooperative on getting us the right paint. They were in and out and done in no time. Once it was finished, looked great. We were very happy with it.
The main reason Rick called Rhino Shield is because it's backed by a 25-year transferable warranty.
We've watched a lot of people get their house painted 3 or 4 times, and we haven't had to do any of it. I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to have to paint it every 5-7 years.
Take a tip from Rick and put down the paintbrush and call Rhino Shield for your free evaluation. 877-25-RHINO.
877-25-RHINO or visit 877-25rhino.com.
We got Rhino Shield 18 years ago. Financially makes sense, especially if it's going to last like this did. Still looks great.
Call now, 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com.
No paint, don't Rhino. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Attention St. Louis Medicaid members. If you need assistance with daily living, you can receive a free service from Freedom Care in your own home from a loved one who lives with you. With Freedom Care, you decide who provides your daily care, helping you with preparing meals, bathing, laundry, transportation, and more. A family member or friend that gets paid instantly. It's all through Medicaid, and as a St. Louis resident, it's 100% free to you. New to Medicaid, the Freedom Care family will guide you through enrollment, making it stress-free for patients and caregivers. With over 7,000 five-star Google reviews, we've perfected at-home care for Medicaid members and caregivers. If you live in the St. Louis area, this service is free to you through Medicaid, and with our InstaPay app, caregivers can choose to get paid instantly. So go to freedomcare.com or call 314-697-4912. 314-697-4912. That's 314-697-4912.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. If you're a renter, make sure you're protected. Renter's insurance includes options that cover stolen property, personal injury, and living expenses if your place is damaged. Quote Renter's Insurance at progressive.com.
Rooted in faith, grounded in family. We're back with more truth. This is the Annie Fry Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. As we mentioned before we start talking to Deroy there, the Fed has cut rates. This is a big deal. I don't know if he's probably still too late, pal. Fox Business reports the Federal Reserve on Wednesday announced the first interest rate cut of the year as policymakers lowered its benchmark interest rate by 25 basis points as signs of a weakening labor force outweighed elevated inflation. Following the central bank's decision to cut rates for the first time since December 2024, the federal funds rate will sit at a new range of 4% to 4.25%. The cut comes after the Fed left rates unchanged at its first 5 meetings this year. Amid economic uncertainty, policymakers have been monitoring economic data, which has shown a slowdown in hiring as businesses grapple with shifts in trade and immigration policy, while inflation has remained elevated and trended higher in recent months as tariff-related price hikes filter through inflation data. The dynamic has presented a challenge for policymakers in achieving both of the goals of the Fed's dual mandate to promote maximum employment and stable prices in line with the Fed's 2% inflation target. Do you have somebody's reaction here?
Yeah, I've got Charlie
right,
Gasparino.
Let's listen to, he was on Fox News right after this happened. Let's listen to Charlie Gasparino's reaction.
This one's not him.
We're in favor of 2 additional cuts by the end of the year. Only 2. Yeah. Now we've got the majority in favor of that. And I think that is what the market is reacting to. Not only did we get a cut today, but we're likely to get 2 more cuts by the end of the year.
You know, I always remind people when they talk about the markets going up on something like this, the markets were at an all-time high in December 2007, thinking that the Fed was going to keep cutting rates and prevent the credit crunch from turning into the financial crisis. And they cut, and it still didn't do it. And I think, one of the problems with this, it's hard to gauge whether inflation is more of a worry than employment, lack of employment. And then why are stocks going up on bad employment?
Let me just ask you, maybe this is a silly, obvious question, but I mean, do you truly believe that Jerome Powell hesitated to cut rates just to stick it to the administration? I mean, do you think it was that political? No. Or do you think he's truly acting on the economics?
I think he is what's called a data dependent. He is backward looking, not forward looking. He was looking at data that turned out to be wrong. he has consistently, after the mistake that Charlie mentioned in 2021, where he let inflation get too high, refused to take a strategic vision of the economy. And when you drive a car looking at the rearview mirror, you will make mistakes. And I think that July was a mistake.
That's a really interesting perspective. That wasn't Charlie Gasparino. Who was that?
Mohammed El Iran. He's a former Obama advisor.
So what he was saying there is that I think it's an interesting question there. Do you think that Powell's just making these decisions based on politics? And he said no, which I find that to be interesting. And it doesn't really undercut what Trump is saying. Trump is saying that Powell is making the wrong decision. And Donald Trump, with the bully pulpit, if you heard Jeanne Ives earlier on the show talking to us about how if you did have a Republican governor in the state of Illinois, even with a supermajority of Democrats in the legislature, the bully pulpit can get a lot of things done, can bring a lot of things to the forefront, and put on a significant amount of pressure to achieve the agenda of whatever the person represents who got elected and is in the bully pulpit wants to achieve. And she's asking there, that's not Martha McCollum, it's the other one, who's Sandra Smith. Yeah. Sandra Smith is asking, like, is this really just political? And the answer is no, it's not a political movement for Jerome Powell not to have reduced rates the first 4 times they met. But the other guy says they're the Obama financial advisor, whatever it was, says he was basing his decisions on what information was in the past, not on what we need to do for the future. And I think we can hold several thoughts in our head at the same time, which is that if Donald Trump was saying, like, this is what you need to do for our future, obviously, and you've got a couple people here. Charlie Gasparino is not a Trump apologist in any way, shape, or form. I don't know much about the other guy. But if you have them assessing the situation, like, it's clear that what Jerome Powell was doing was a backwards-looking philosophy about how to react to the economy as opposed to plan for the future economy. That is a difference of opinion. That is a difference of perspective. Donald Trump clearly believes that his perspective is right. Shocker. That actually makes a lot of sense and is an explanation that is outside of just the political explanation, which is politics is rarely ever just it. It's a mechanism to move people in a certain direction. Jerome Powell's refusal to shift the way he was looking at this, at the data, to make different decisions is what caused Donald Trump so much frustration. It appeared to be a very deep stubbornness to not consider that what Jerome Powell was doing was not right. And then also in that clip there, which is really, to me, seems like the top key point that people need to be understanding, the rear view mentality that Jerome Powell as the Fed chair had here was based on wrong information.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
The lies that were told by the Biden administration to make the Biden administration look good regarding jobs numbers and everything were so revised, they were so not accurate that the poor assessment that Jerome Powell was making based on what happened in the past was not even made on accurate information.
Yeah, for all of the push and pull, because he's right, Jerome Powell's been very, very slow to act on anything. Doesn't mean he's wrong. It just means that he's been very slow. Trump obviously is trying to get ahead of any bad numbers to try to keep it flowing. I just don't know that this does a lot. It just doesn't seem like a quarter point is going to move things in any direction. So I just don't think that this is big news.
Well, I don't feel like any of us here are qualified to assess that, but we certainly have opinions like you do, and we will work to get an expert on tomorrow. Stuart Rosenblum is going to come talk to us about what this might mean for the things that touch all of our financial lives specifically. We have to take a break. We're going to get to Paul Mauro next. He's a Fox News contributor, but more importantly, a retired NYPD inspector. He has been on the ground in Utah, and we are incredibly interested to hear his perspective on what took place yesterday with the district attorney's press conference, levying the charge, the information we know. Paul Mauro on the Annie Frey Show next.
Men, need a clinic that accepts all insurance, including Medicare? U.S. Men's Medical Center in St. Peters does. U.S. Men's helps men experiencing loss of energy, focus, concentration, and low libido. And they accept all insurance, even Medicare, for testosterone replacement therapy. Patients love the staff and the fact that, yes, I'm going to say it again, they accept all insurance, including Medicare. Feel better? Call U.S. Men's Medical Center at 636-244-5333.
If you're thinking about replacing your windows before winter hits, which is smart, don't keep making the same mistake. Stop replacing your failing vinyl windows on your home now with more vinyl. Lakeside Renovation and Design will install Infinity from Marvin fiberglass windows. They're built to last, they're energy efficient, plus they look stunning, and they're custom built for your home. Installed by Lakeside's expert team, and they're going to offer a lifetime workmanship warranty. If you're ready to upgrade your windows once and for all, you need to visit windowsbylakeside.com. Schedule your free consultation today.
This station is now conducting a test of the emergency alert system. This is only a test.
From the gateway city to the front lines of freedom. 97.1 FM Talk. St. Louis Conservative.
Could you state your name?
Tyler James Robinson.
In that on September 10th, 2025 in Utah County, the defendant, Tyler James Robinson, intentionally or knowingly caused the death of Charlie Kirk under the following circumstances. The defendant knowingly created a great risk of death to another individual other than Charlie Kirk and the defendant. Notice conviction of this offense may carry the death penalty or pursuant to Utah Code 76.3-207.7, a mandatory term of imprisonment for life without parole, or an indeterminate term of not less than 25 years, and that may be for life.
There you are hearing the arraignment of Tyler Robinson, as he states his name. These details came out yesterday, and somebody's been right there on the scene covering so much of what we have seen out of Utah and the assassination of Charlie Kirk. We are now joined by Paul Mauro. He's a Fox News contributor and a retired NYPD inspector and attorney, also founder of the opsdesk.org. Paul, welcome back to the show. Thanks for being with us today. Can you hear us okay? I'm sorry about that. Are you there?
Okay. I'm here.
That's my fault. Paul, we thank you for your time and for your expertise in this matter. I want to give you the opportunity to assess the police work that was done from the moment that Charlie Kirk was assassinated to the time that they caught him, to the time that they delivered the information to us yesterday. What is your assessment of the FBI, the people on the ground, the local police, and their job?
They did a good job. I'm a little bewildered by some of the criticism and incoming that's going at Kesh Patel and the FBI and the task force overall. Because let's remember, this wasn't just the FBI. The way I see it, I saw a couple of ball drops relative to the public relations, but that happens in the heat of the battle. I mean, I think Kesh Patel, that is, would like to have that one tweet back. But let's recognize what almost certainly happened here. He was misinformed by somebody on the ground. He didn't just make that up. Somebody on the ground said, boss, we got him. Kesh probably said, okay, I'm going to put it out. Are we sure about that? Yeah, boss, this is him. Kesh puts it out. Turns out it's not the guy. And so what did Kesh and Bongino do? They said, you know what? Enough of this. Let's saddle up and go out there to put our arms around this thing and make sure it goes right. So that's the way that likely went. And to Patel's credit, he's not blaming any of his staff. He's standing up to it, taking the incoming, and got down there and made sure that they buttoned up the case. I think that he would have benefited maybe by speaking at the press conference. I would think that's kind of the other thing that I think in terms of the public relations went slightly askew. He let the governor take the lead. I think that at that point we want to hear from law enforcement, although I will say again, it was a nice and refreshing change from what we would have gotten, let's say, from a James Comey, who would have made it all about him. So in terms of, the public relations, that's about it. And in terms of the operation, all I would say, is that, I wouldn't have put out the shoe size, the shoe imprint, rather, when they said, hey, we got a footprint. And the reason for that is it lets the suspect, whoever he was at that point, we didn't know, get rid of the clothing, get rid of his shoes. So when I saw them say, we've gotten a palm print and we got a shoe print, I winced a little bit because I'm thinking he's going to ditch the sneakers. And it turns out, according to what I've read, he did, in fact, get rid of his clothing. So operationally, that might be the one thing that I think they'd like to have back. But short of all of that, they got him in less than 30 hours or 32 hours, whatever it was, on very, very little to go on. And putting out an image is a police tactic. That's as old as police work. It tracks to a police sketch or the kind of thing you used to see on post office walls. So I don't really get the criticism. They got Mangione in 5 days. They got this guy in a day and a half. I think it's a job well done.
Paul Mauro speaking with us right now, retired NYPD inspector, attorney, and Fox News contributor. Yesterday, we, on this station, as a Fox News radio affiliate, we aired the whole press conference from the district attorney. We listened to the essential narration of those messages exchanged between Robinson and his boyfriend. And I'm curious of your thoughts of the revealing of those messages. I mean, it does read like a confession. I understand in a court of law that the confession there is a little bit different. Was that too much information that was provided to the public at that district attorney's press conference? Do you think it was the right amount?
I think it was fine. The prosecutor was very clearly thinking in terms of a trial and any argument against prejudicing the jury pool. So he stuck to just the facts that they're going to allege almost certainly in their opening statements. He didn't characterize it in any way. If you notice, the thing I always look for in circumstances like that are adjectives. And it was very, very just the facts, very Hemingway-esque sort of language. And I think that's cognizant. You don't want to have all kinds of sort of pejorative language towards the defendant, because that's the kind of thing that a defense attorney can ultimately hang his hat on. The publicity, look, there's nothing you can do at this point to pull that back. This is obviously an enormous story. The thing went everywhere. The video is viral. So even more than the Koberger case, there was no way you're going to avoid massive publicity. But short of that, I thought it was fine. And I think one of the things it did, that's known as a speaking indictment, except in this case, it wasn't an indictment. It was an information, which is the system that Utah has. It's different from a grand jury. The judge essentially decides if you have probable cause to go forward. And the information here, the speaking information, in this case was quite detailed. And I think one of the reasons for that was to put to bed a lot of the heated rhetoric and speculation that was going on online. In a way, by giving more information, I think he tamped down a lot of the sort of swirling conspiracy theories and all of that were going around, that this was a MAGA guy, that he said that Charlie Kirk was not sort of MAGA enough, which never made any sense to me. It just shows you what silos people operate in. So I think the point of it was to actually still the waters a little bit by giving more information and being more transparent. And I think it was the right move. And I actually think it kind of worked. You're not hearing that anymore. And now it's more about the prosecution.
Yeah, certainly the information speaks for itself. And we do need to have these post conversations that start at least and rooted in fact, because we have had such a difficult time as a country starting from a place of true fact and evidence and then opinionating from there. I do want to ask you, you mentioned the conspiracy theories that are kind of swirling around this. They're in the left and they're in the right. There are both sides of the political aisles that are discussing the possibility of more people being involved. And then we saw Kash Patel at the Senate hearing yesterday talk about the immense amount of leads that they're following of people who may have been a part of a conversation prior to the shooting. They may have been made aware of it. I'm wondering what your thoughts are on those leads that might exist, or where you see the investigation going into those who might have aided, abetted, supported, known about this shooting before it happened.
Well, this is a truism of law enforcement now in an age of social media and all of the encrypted apps and the various platforms that are out there for people to communicate. When you have this kind of thing, especially in the political world, you have to admit the possibility and investigate the possibility that there are people who were abetting this, maybe urging this on or involved in some other way online, virtually. So even if you can get a very good window, as they do here through the roommate, into what this person was doing, the shooter was doing in the real world. And we have to remember Robinson is still innocent until proven guilty. But you have to keep going. And the example I've been using, because it's recent and people know the case, is this guy that bombed the fertility clinic in California, Bartkus. That was a big story. Guy sets off a car bomb, suicides, takes out the back of a fertility clinic on some theory of depopulation of the world. And he dies, and everybody moves on from this bizarre story. But law enforcement did not. And they went into the computers, they went into the phone, and they stayed on it. And ultimately, what they ascertained is he had a co-conspirator who had been in town, who supplied the explosives, and then fled the country. And as this person came back in from, I believe, Poland, if I remember, they grabbed him at JFK here in New York. So the point is law enforcement will stay on this. And those are the vectors that they are pursuing here, I'm sure, with all kinds of alacrity. They're going through chat logs. They're going through the computer. They're going through his phone. I assume they got in. All these phones are very tough to get into these days, even for the highest level tech. And they have to go through all that to look for somebody who said, here's how you do it, and provided the roadmap. Or, what do you need? I'll send you money. Now, we know where we got the gun now. That was a big question I had. But you got to look for co-conspirators, and you have to look and see if he's part of a group, even if that group or nobody in that group abetted the case in any way or urged it on. Now you have a group that's on the radar screen for intelligence purposes that you have to look at going forward. And law enforcement has the ability to prophylactically look at dangerous groups as long as it's legally predicated. It's delicate in a First Amendment society. I did a lot of this work in the terrorism world. You have to legally predicate. You got a lawyer. That's why I went to law school. You really got to get this down. But once you are sort of sanctioned to do it, you can do various things to keep an eye on groups who have dedicated themselves to committing felonies. And I suspect we're going to see something like that, maybe quietly, but something like that come out of this case, even if we don't get another arrest.
We're speaking with retired NYPD inspector, attorney, and Fox News contributor Paul Mauro right now. There are some other people that are very near to Robinson, who is the alleged shooter of Charlie Kirk, and they were listed and discussed a bit in that press conference yesterday. First is the boyfriend that he lived with, but also his dad, his mother, his family. I'm wondering about the evolution of FBI. The FBI puts out these photos. I presume that you just hope that somebody near and dear to this person identifies them and tries to do the right thing. It appears as though that's what happened. Is there trouble on the horizon legally for themselves for any of those parties that were very close to him that might be here in the future for the boyfriend or for the parents, the family?
Yeah, so reading between the lines here, I would say the only person who is sort of on the edge of the hot seat is the roommate. The parents certainly seem to have done the right thing. Apparently the mother recognized him first, called the father. The father said, yeah, you're right, it does look like Tyler. And then the father confronted Tyler. Now, I have this just from a source I had on the ground out there, so I feel comfortable saying it. Apparently the family was also very concerned that if Tyler did not give himself up, and this is after Tyler more or less admitted his various reporting as to how much he admitted to the father. He either implied or stated outright, yeah, it was me. They were concerned that there would end up being, for lack of a better term, a dynamic entry by the police. That is to say, the police come booming the door, come in with their guns out, etc. Tyler goes to flee or, God forbid, fight, and then the next thing you know, you have an injury or worse. So they were concerned that because of the quality of the images that the Bureau had managed to put together, because they enhanced the video and made the decision, which is a decision you have to make. I've been in that spot. They made the right decision when they ran out of fast leads. There's a guy running around out there with a gun who's already killed somebody in the most cowardly and callous way. You want to make sure the public is armed with their own knowledge so that nobody else can get hurt. You want to warn them. So they made that call, and the family was worried that, you know what, those images are clear. If we're recognizing him, somebody else is going to. And so ultimately they made the arrangements that we've all heard about for him to give himself up to the Washington County Sheriff. Family's in the clear almost certainly, unless some other crazy thing develops. The roommate, if you listened closely, there were two tells in my mind there that say that the roommate could be in trouble but likely will not be. The text messages have reference to the perp, Tyler, etching the bullets. Said something like, you remember me etching those bullets? Well, this is why. You got to say to yourself, who etches bullets, especially after Mangione? Obviously, it's a very clear callback to Mangione. Roommate knew nothing about that. And then secondly, if you recall, he says, look, stop what you're doing. That is Tyler text. Stop what you're doing. Look under the keyboard for my note. And according to the press conference, the prosecutor says not that they recovered the note, that they recovered a photograph of the note. So that tells me they didn't get the original note. So who destroyed or removed or disappeared, for lack of a better term, the original note? It's almost certainly got to be the roommate. And that would be a destruction of evidence charge potentially against the roommate. Now, all of that is supposition. I want to be clear. And I also want to make it clear that just because you have the charge doesn't mean you got to go with it. Right now, they got the roommate right where they want him. He's giving them information. He is investigative gold. He's giving them all the inner workings of what went on there. He's establishing the timeline. You can look at all the forensics, all the video, all the stuff in the world that you want. But there's nothing like having somebody very, very close to the perpetrator. That's why you run undercovers. And in this case, you've got an undercover, essentially, who's cooperating with you. You can't really do better than that, especially if he's a testifier, which it sounds like he is. So I think there's a very good chance they'll hold that in abeyance to keep Twiggs, that's Lance Twiggs is the roommate, to keep Twiggs on the side of the good guys here.
Is Robinson speaking? Has he said anything at all at this point?
No, apparently he's completely clammed up and then lawyered up. He knew enough to invoke. I would imagine that went on in the conversation as they went into the sheriff's office. It was retired law enforcement. And it was probably a conversation between his father and the retired law enforcement member that he contacted before they went down to turn themselves into the sheriff. And I would imagine the father said, what do we do here? Do we go get a lawyer or something? And I would imagine the sheriff, the retired sheriff's guy said, look, you got to do what's best for you. Generally, you'd be quiet and, let it take its course. So I don't know how much that went. There was some reporting he was talking a little bit at first. So, again, I'm just speculating. I don't know how it went, but whatever it is, he said very little up front, and he hasn't said anything since.
Last question before we let you go, and we're really grateful for your time. Speaking with Paul Mauro, who is a retired NYPD inspector. He's an attorney and a Fox News contributor. I just want your insight on the I think the right word is bravery for the parents to do the right thing here, because as a parent myself, I have not been able to understand what that moment would be like. Is it common in law enforcement when you see a crime like this for parents to do what these parents did?
No, I would say no. Generally, it's the other way. It is blood. And very often the parent is going to try to do, something to try to obfuscate what went on, but because the principal concern is to just take care of your kid. And in this case, though, I think that was the principal concern, because they recognized, look, the gig is up. They're going to get him. The video is everywhere. He's going to get identified. Then they're going to start to put all of this together. They knew the kid was troubled. He had been going, as according to the mother, further and further into deep, unusual leftist ideology, apparently, to be gentle about it. And that has nothing to do with his choice of lifestyle or his choice of partners. But apparently he was becoming more and more politically radical. I think that speaks for itself. And so I think that they made the choice to try to save his life because they knew it was going to go bad. And at least this way they had their son alive.
Just tragedies abound. And Paul Mauro, we're so honored to have you on the show. We're grateful for your time. We hope you'll come back. Thank you for providing your insight and expertise with us today.
Oh, of course. Thank you.
Of course. Bye-bye. Paul Mauro, Fox News contributor, retired NYPD inspector and attorney, founder of theopsdesk.org. Man, I soak up all of that. There's just the facts, the information of what's going on. You be the judge. I was going to ask him at the end, so you're saying there's no chance that this guy was motivated by right-wing ideology, but I think his word spoke for himself, and you're smart enough as a listener of this show, this station, to hear what he was saying there without me having to drill it down. And the insensitivity, I just can't imagine a parent, people talk about the family situation that this guy came from. Oh, they're right-wingers. It's interesting, isn't it? Isn't it really interesting that a lot of the people in the media so quickly jumped to the idea that if the parents were Republican, that the kid would be Republican too? And isn't it really strange that he was coming from a Republican-based family, he shot guns as a child, that there were a lot of reasons to believe that he had a conservative foundation, morals-based foundation, that he came of age, he went to college, or at least as a college age, and became radical with such a short amount of time. Now, I know a lot of you listening don't have children who have obviously become this radical, but I think a lot of you listening right now watched your kids go away to college, and something changes. Something drastically changes, and you can see it in your kids. Why is this happening? I said this yesterday. Who goes to school, who goes to university, and comes back radically conservative? Does that even happen? I think we should be asking these questions. And I hope that the Trump administration and the education department that is still in existence at this time takes a good hard look at the taxpayer dollars that are going to fund universities that hate this country. Let's take a quick break. We'll be right back. Michael's Flooring Outlet online at igotfloored.com. Flooring shopping made simple because they have the products that you've been looking for, maybe even the ones you don't know you've been looking for yet. Shopping for flooring can be overwhelming at first, but then you're like, when you start thinking about laying in that new flooring in your home and you start thinking about how great it's going to look compared to the stuff you've been living with up until that point. When you go to Michael's, you're thinking, oh, we want to get rid of that carpet. We want to put that hardwood floor down. And then you go and you're like, wow, there's a lot of different things I can choose when I want to put hardwood down or something that looks like hardwood. Lots of different price points, lots of different quality. The technology is amazing. You don't know what you don't know until you go talk to people who do know. And the Michael's Flooring Outlet team knows. They're the best in the business in the St. Louis area. Family-owned and operated business, locals here, who've been doing it right for 3+ decades. So if you're shopping for flooring and you're looking for that hardwood look, maybe the Techwood Plus line that so many people rely on, give Michael's Flooring Outlet an opportunity to earn your business. They've got 3 locations here in St. Louis, but they're online right now at igotfloored.com.
Scott Jennings here. I'm excited to be part of the St. Louis conservative conversation, cutting through the noise with unfiltered common sense.
Scott Jennings.
Weekdays at 8 p.m.
on 97.1 FM Talk.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 40-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term life insurance may only cost you about $100 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-239-1749. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-239-1749. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-239-1749. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. For affordable term life insurance, call 800-239-1749. 800-239-1749 or biglou.com.
Major League Baseball realized they needed new rules to help grow and speed up the game. Your retirement strategy may also need updating to keep up with potential tax law changes, Social Security, or whatever curveball Uncle Sam throws your way. Call Ricken Financial for an initial no-cost portfolio x-ray. 314-207-6211. That's 314-207-6211 or online at rickenfinancial.com. Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor.
When life happens and you need to sell your St. Louis area home, do what I did. Call my friend and trusted realtor, Gloria Liu, with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. She's here with me today. Gloria is a St. Louis real estate expert with over 22 years of experience and expertise helping you sell fast and for the most money.
Selling your home can be so stressful, especially when life happens, like a sudden job change, a passing of a loved one, or a growing family. Knowing exactly how much your home will sell in today's market is the first step. Then I back it up with an upfront written guarantee. My guarantee is simple and easy to understand. If I can't sell your home at our agreed-upon price and time frame, I'll buy it myself.
When life happens, the name to remember is Gloria Liu, Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. I strongly suggest you call her right now. It's 314-325-6888. That's 314-325-6888 or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com.
Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date.
The question today in the YouTube live chat poll is, will more arrests be made in the wake of Charlie Kirk's murder? We invite you to not only vote on this, but also leave a comment. Here's one from Lori. It says on the poll, no, I believe they got the shooter and there was only one shot. What do you think? Let us know in the YouTube live chat poll today and leave your comment. We will be watching those as we do. 151. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
This is the Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Hook
Can I just tell you something about the Foo Fighters on air here, Annie? She just turned me off. I will not say that again. Don't you dare.
That's my job.
Don't you dare turn me on.
I was just going to take the second half of the show off for half of St. Patrick's Day.
That's not the way half St. Patrick's Day works.
I like how you changed the shot on the YouTube to be you.
Yeah, way to go, Ryan.
I didn't do that. Brad did that.
It's because he's the producer.
In honor of half St. Patrick's Day. It's something that we all have been celebrating for years, and if you are just catching up to it, then that is your fault.
You don't even celebrate St. Patrick's Day.
I'm not fully Irish. I can't. I am partially Irish, so I have to celebrate half St. Patrick's, which is today.
Is that the part of you that's short?
No.
Like a
It's
leprechaun?
part of me that's long. It's how you know you got lucky. You know what I'm saying?
I know nothing of what we are discussing here.
I'm not sure I do either.
This is a respectable show that just had an amazing conversation with Paul Mauro, and you are causing it all to be for naught.
I just wanted to let you know that the first two Foo Fighters albums, fantastic. After that, basically that song, maybe one other. Don't love it. Anyway, half St. Patrick's Day is today, and if you celebrate, chime in and let us know how you're celebrating today in the YouTube live chat. The poll is a separate thing.
Imagine they pay you to be here. Isn't that amazing?
It's fantastic. I get to sit here, get gifts from you all week. I got a sweet tea today for free from Qdoba because they made me wait too long. It's been my day.
Were you a Karen?
No, I wasn't. I didn't complain at all.
What did we say we were going to call the new Karen name? Didn't we come up with something else? I want to give Karens a break. I gave you a gift today.
Thank you for that.
It was day 2 of Ryan's birthday gifts.
Well, since yesterday I got 0 gifts on my actual birthday.
That's not true.
I got gifts from the station, not from you guys.
Do you know who paid for that?
Probably the station. Not you. You guys did not buy anything yesterday.
No?
Oh, after the show, I forgot. After the show, Brad gave me gifts. He gave me real birthday gifts.
Yeah.
They were very nice.
What did he get you?
He got me a big, fat Amazon gift card.
Yeah.
And he got me 0 sugar soda.
That?
Which is what also you got me. It was a different kind.
What kind did he give you?
He gave me cherry Pepsi. 0 cherry Pepsi.
I know how much you like root beer.
I'm going to hold up this to the camera. Is this something that looks good to you? I saw it in the store, and I thought, man, am I committed enough to buy that? Because it sounds like it could be great, but it also sounds like it could really fall flat.
Do you know that a 12-pack of soda at Walgreens is $10.99?
Ice cream sundae, 0 sugar, A&W.
That's ridiculous.
Does it taste like an ice cream float?
I haven't tried it. I don't know.
Why haven't you tried it?
Because I have this free tea from Qdoba. So I've been drinking that all day.
It's a 0 sugar tea.
I don't know if it's a 0 sugar, but it's an unsweet tea. It's regular tea. And I put Splenda in it. A ton. which is 0 sugar. So it tastes like it's sweet.
Did you have a good birthday yesterday?
It was a fantastic birthday.
What made it great?
Whenever my wife tells me multiple times happy birthday and then decides to go get me an Andrea's hamburger for dinner.
Oh, that's awesome.
After she got home, too. It's on her way home, but then she went back to get it.
Who's better at birthdays? Her celebrating your birthday or you celebrating hers?
Ooh, I don't know. It's year to year. Some years it goes by and she's like, oh, I forgot yesterday was your birthday.
No, she's never forgotten
the day. And then other times I'm like, I didn't really do
She would never forget the day.
A great job on your birthday. So it's year by year. This is a good one.
This was a good one.
Yeah.
Well, happy 72nd birthday. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
Life's unpredictable and full of unknowns, but your vehicle shouldn't be. No one wants to face an unexpected repair that could derail their plans and budget. That's why we're introducing CarShield, the ultimate way to future-proof your ride. We're not just about fixing problems, we're about preventing financial surprises. You can get a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan designed to save you from out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Imagine driving with complete peace of mind, knowing that if something goes wrong, you'll pay almost nothing for covered repairs. Included in every plan is free roadside assistance, free towing and car rental options at no additional cost. This protection plan is at an all-time low, making it accessible to any driver. Don't wait for a breakdown to realize you need coverage. Invest in the future of your vehicle and your wallet today. Call CarShield now for your free quick quote. Call 800-908-8646. That's 800-908-8646. Future-proof your ride. Call CarShield now. 800-908-8646. 800-908-8646. Again, 800-908-8646.
RulerFoods.com. Shopping made cheaper. When you get your groceries at Ruler Foods, you can just go shop there and know that you're going to spend less, but they always have great things on sale as well. If you go to RulerFoods.com, you can always look at the ad or whatever it is that they have that shows, oh, these are the things that are lower cost right now, like strawberries, raspberries, and blackberries. The best fruits are berries. Isn't that like a scientific fact? Strawberries, raspberries, and blackberries, just $1.99 each. Kroger pork butt roast, $1.49 a pound. That's great. Anytime you can save on eggs, you can stock up at Ruler Foods. Kroger Grade A large eggs, just $1.99. So hurry over to Ruler Foods for the eggs and stay for the savings on Kroger chicken wings. Only $7.99. Why are Ruler Foods ads my funniest?
I don't know, but they are.
Maybe my other ones just need to be better. You can find your Ruler Foods online by throwing your zip code in the website. You can see the ad there as well. Even delivery, RulerFoods.com.
When you get hurt, you don't want to end up on the injured list. You want to get back in the game, stronger than ever. At Morgan & Morgan, we're the home run hitters you need. Morgan & Morgan, proud sponsor of the St. Louis Cardinals.
Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Hello from Pro Outdoor, your #1 irrigation and sprinkler team. Aeration and overseeding season is here to repair summer brown spots. Make sure your sprinkler system is tuned up to water in that fresh seed. We're running fall specials on aeration, overseeding, and new residential sprinkler installs within 2 weeks. Call 636-695-7800 or visit ProOutdoor.com to see all our services. That's 636-695-7800.
Mark Cox here. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how to link to the market without the risk. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go online to retirementkey.com.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-500-5000.
That's 314-500-5000.
All on the free Odyssey app.
The Fed cuts rates. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. It's a quarter-point cut, the first reduction in the central bank's benchmark interest rate in 9 months.
While the unemployment rate remains low, it has edged up. Job gains have slowed, and downside risks to employment have risen. At the same time, inflation has risen recently and remains somewhat elevated.
Fed Chair Jerome Powell, as the board also signals 2 more quarter-point cuts are expected before year's end. But the outlook and today's vote are not unanimous. New Trump board member Stephen Myron wanted a half-point reduction. Stocks remain mixed after an initial bounce for the Dow, but an earlier rally has cooled. Right now, the Dow is up just 76 points. Vice President J.D. Vance visiting a metal stamping company in Michigan to talk about tax cuts, but he's also condemning political violence 1 week after Charlie Kirk was killed.
And I want to let you know that whether you're a Democrat or a Republican, whatever your belief is, I will fight for your right to speak your mind.
He and President Trump are among the scheduled speakers at a memorial to honor Kirk this Sunday in an Arizona stadium. For now, the president and first lady are on a state visit to Britain, spending the day with the king and queen before the president and prime minister meet tomorrow. More fireworks on Capitol Hill.
For the second day in a row, sparks fly between Democrats and FBI Director Kash Patel.
It's been a disgrace to the American people. You can reclaim your time all you want.
Mr. Chairman, you're going to allow a witness to speak this way? Patel testifying before the House and Senate Judiciary Committees, where Democrats allege he's injecting politics into decision-making at the agency, like the firing of several field office leaders. The director says he's reforming the FBI to become more efficient while removing the weaponization of the agency.
Fox's Ryan Schmelz on Capitol Hill. America is listening to Fox News.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. Stroke risk may increase. Eliquis can cause serious and potentially fatal bleeding. Don't take if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or bleed longer. A spinal injection increases blood clot risk, which may cause paralysis. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or bruising, or back pain, tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, or incontinence. Aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Partly sunny skies, kind of hot, moderate humidity this afternoon, and nothing more than a spot thunderstorm. Don't even be concerned about it. 95 for the high, 68, clear skies tonight. Thursday, instant replay, the exact same thing, 95, but the blocky pattern breaks down late Thursday night and Friday with scattered showers and thunderstorms. 85 for the high on Friday. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
The Annie Fry Show is sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Time to get ready for cold weather and schedule your heating system check. Get not just your heating system, but your entire HVAC system checked for $19 a month with the Preferred Partner Plan. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
Annie Fry, Ryan Wiggins, Brad Rain.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride. What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
For goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Glad to be with you. We're watching a little bit of this Trump's trip to the United Kingdom. Did you watch any of that earlier today? Did you see any of the marching? And
For whatever reason, the algorithm thought I would be really interested to see that Kate Middleton and Melania Trump were friends now.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they are. They're best friends now.
How strange that it thought you would be interested in it and knew that I would not.
Yeah. Well,
actually, I would be interested in the Melania part of that.
yeah, they're best friends. They committed to continue to talk well past this visit. I have no idea.
Are you making all of this
Yes, I'm making all that up. No, but they did look very friendly, and they were talking a lot. That's all I know.
I don't know how long I can carry out this conversation with you two gentlemen in the room, but why is Melania Trump not celebrated as one of the most beautiful, fashionable, elegant first ladies that has ever graced the position of first lady in this country?
Do you need me to leave the room?
No, I want your thoughts.
I can tell you exactly why. It's because of her last name.
Uh-huh.
And I think you already know that. It's because she's a Trump.
To me, it's almost as if of all of the things that they hate about Donald Trump, all of them, the whole kit and caboodle of reasons why the people on the left absolutely despise Donald Trump, when you know that the vast majority of what they hate about him is completely based on complete and total deception and lies. So there are things about Donald Trump's past. There are things that he said. We could talk about the locker room talk that are unsavory. I don't like it, and I wouldn't like it if he said it as a Republican. I wouldn't like it if he said it when he was actually a Democrat when he said it. There are a whole bunch of things about his Playboy persona that I'm like, kids, that's bad behavior. Don't be like that. So can you criticize him for some of those things? Yes. He was of the world that the left created, and that's the thing that they try to shake at him, it seemed like, the most at first. But there are so many things that people hate about Donald Trump, all of the names that they call him, and it's so obviously wrong. But for whatever reason, at least up until this point, and I actually think that Charlie Kirk's death is going to play a big role in cracking a lot of truth into the hearts and minds of people who have even an ounce of curiosity. The thing that is so obviously, the thing they're so obviously wrong about, and it makes it so clear that they're committed, over every ounce of evidence that could be presented to them that they are completely and totally committed to hating this man is the fact that they have completely disregarded Melania Trump as the first lady. She's quiet as a first lady. Jill Biden, no. Michelle Obama, no. Hillary Clinton,
It is half St. Patrick's Day.
no. Shut up. Shut up.
Oh, Biden.
Laura Bush, not incredibly quiet. I wouldn't consider her to be as forward as the Democrat first ladies have been. Nothing wrong with being forward. I don't really agree with some of the platforms that were being pushed by those former first ladies. Barbara Bush, not quiet. Nancy Reagan, not quiet. All she does is stand there, support her husband. That's the problem. She's not beautiful. She's whatever comes on the other side of beautiful. She's beyond beautiful.
Yeah, she's a supermodel.
She's just like whatever the beautifulest word is. That's what she is. She has a fashion sense of a supermodel. She cares about children. She cares about, her campaigns have been against bullying, in support of children. And other than that, she really doesn't insert herself in anything, and they hate her so much. They probably wish that she was as obnoxious as Jill was. It'd be easier to hate her. But now she just stands there and beautiful, like, we hate her because she's beautiful. She's stunning. She's a showstopper. She's an immigrant.
It's like they've looked for some sort of foothold to criticize her, and they can't find one, so they just don't really talk about her much. I can't find anything. Let's just leave that alone.
Because it's undeniable.
Yeah.
There are a lot of things you can hate about Donald Trump that are rooted in complete, total fabricated lies that over the course of time, in the way Donald Trump handles his business and the way he's attacked it back, people have become very visceral to his response to the things that are lies. And I'm like, I understand why he would respond that way, because people are trying to destroy his reputation and then, again, his life. Melania stands by this hat thing where you can't really see her eyes. I love it. It's like I'm not even giving you the time of day.
It's like a reverse mask.
Yes. This is why I said I don't know how long this conversation about fashion can last.
It's this kind of stuff though that it's because it's so petty that it just drives you nuts.
Yes,
because
that's a good point.
It's a gnat.
Super petty.
It's not a gnat is not going to change your life, but it's just going to bother you. It'll just get in your food. It'll make
Never
life
seems to go away.
Annoying, and it's this kind of stuff that just drives people a little bit bonkers because there's no reason for it. There's not even. What does the press even gain? What does Vogue magazine or Variety or whoever gain from not making her into the kind of celebrity that she really kind of deserves to be at this point?
The ignorance of the situation, as in the process of ignoring it, is what they're doing. It's an active ignorance that they're willfully participating in, and it's the best they can do because she gives them nothing else. The worst thing they can do is not give her the platform that she deserves. When they criticize her, the left criticizes Melania Trump for not speaking super clear English. Think about that for a second. The left criticizes her for having been an immigrant. Her immigrant status makes it so that she is hypocritical because she's married to Donald Trump. Forget about all of the people who have immigrated here correctly. The fact that she was a supermodel, that her body was posed in a way that was perceived by many to be artistic when she was in the nude, these are not tenets that evolve out of the conservative right. These are your standards. These are the things that you celebrate. And she is a 10 out of 10 in pretty much all of these things. And she just stands there with her hat lowered. And don't you just want like 2 drink in Melania to start spilling her guts? Don't you want to be there for that? I do.
I do. The question is, do you want that to be recorded?
No, well, I just want to know.
You just want to be there.
I don't want that to happen.
You don't want it to be a news thing.
Nor would it ever, because she's far too classy and elegant to do anything like that. But I just want to know what she thinks. And you know, the one kind of thing that we have that is like that. Remember the Melania tapes that were released?
The Melania tapes.
Right after the election, I believe. And people were like, Melania hates Christmas. And everyone's like, what? She hates Christmas. Of course the Trumps would hate Christmas. She didn't hate Christmas. She was trying to help. My recollection was there was some immigrant children who were not being looked after and cared for, probably by Catholic charities, who were not being attended to, and she wanted to shine a light on that. And there were reporters who she was trying to get a story out to, and she's like, all these reporters want to ask me about are the effing Christmas decorations. Who cares? She's like, who cares about the Christmas decorations? I want to help these kids. And they're like, there's a story. She hates Christmas. Run it. It's so sickening. And it was interesting for her to hear on the Melania tapes, which CNN had, by the way. It was interesting to hear that Melania was like, I don't want to be the person who decorates the White House. I'd like to help these children. And I can't do it because nobody will cover the story. And in not covering the story, they create a story, which is Melania the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Can we just pause now that it's been like 5 years since the Melania tapes came out?
No, but if you were wondering about the Melania tapes, you know where to find it, right here in the Annie Fry Show.
Somebody was in the White House that was close enough to the First Lady that thought, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go deep undercover and start recording the conversations that Melania has. And it's going to be a scandal. And I'm going to release it. It'll be called the Melania tapes. And the only thing they got out of all that was that she was mad that she was not getting better coverage for a real issue. And the press kept asking her about Christmas decorations.
I'm playing this. I don't know what it's going to say. Here's from 2020.
I'm complicit. I'm the same like him. I support him. I don't say enough. I don't do enough. No. Where I am, I'm working like a my ass off with Christmas stuff that, who gives a about Christmas stuff and decoration, but I need to do it, right?
Yeah, but 100%. You have no choice.
And then I do it, and I say that I'm working on Christmas, planning for the Christmas, and they said, oh, what about the children? That they were separated. Give me a break. Where they were saying anything when Obama did that?
I know.
I cannot go. I was trying to get the kid reunited with the mom. I didn't have a chance. Needs to go through the process and through the law.
But here's my thing. Hear what you just said. But instead of that, if your messaging, you were so loved.
They would not do the story. We put it out. They would not do the story.
I'm telling you.
You would not believe it. They would not do the story because they would not do the story because they are against us because they are liberal media. Yeah, if I go to Fox, they will do the story. I don't want to go to Fox.
The liberal media. She's saying she was trying to get some kids reunited, but it has to go through the law, has to go through the process. She's supposed to be out there decorating the house. She says, who gives an F about the Christmas decorations?
Again, this was a scandal. And when you listen to it, she's just exposing how bad the media is.
Yes.
Like off media. And the media picks it up and goes, listen to this.
What a self-own. This is, would that have been her last Christmas? That was, are you kidding me? That was October 2nd, 2020. So that was an October surprise.
Oh, that was what lost him the election. We're like, I can't believe Melania would hate Christmas. And there was a whole contingency of people that said we shouldn't even be talking about Christmas right now. It's October.
Yeah, those people are so crappy. Let's take a break. Ethan, Sports and Local, he's been planning for days for this segment.
Can't wait.
I am super excited about it. Ethan, Sports and Local next. The poll, we're going to discuss that as well at 2:30. Will more arrests be made in the wake of Charlie Kirk's murder? If you didn't hear it, we talked to Paul Mauro. You see him on Fox News all the time. He's a retired NYPD inspector and attorney. Really interesting insight from him with us at 1:30. It'll be on the Andy Fry Show podcast. Ethan, come in here. We'll be right back.
You're calling to me. I can't hear what you've said. Then you say it goes slow. I fall behind. The second hand unwind. If you're lost, you can look.
Home Shield Foundation Repairs, Matt Hayes, the owner of a family business right here in St. Louis. You want to make sure everything is taken care of right the first time, and Home Shield Foundation Repairs are the folks to call in order to make that happen. You've got concrete in your driveway, and you've driven over it. It cracked, of course, that happens with time, but then it starts to separate. Then it starts to become a liability. Home Shield Foundation Repair wants to give you a strong, longer-lasting solution that won't wash out. It won't deteriorate over time. They want to serve that problem that you have and do it right the first time. With a 5-year warranty, you can use the polyjacking system, which is a polyurethane foam injected under concrete. It raises it up and levels it out, and it can be done in a day. It's reliable, and the folks at Home Shield Foundation Repair are wonderful to work with. Call Matt Hayes at 314-227-9636, 314-227-9636, and have him come look at the sidewalk, walkway, garage floors, patio, pool decks, commercial, industrial concrete even, that you might have experienced this cracking and uneven concrete. Get it taken care of in a cost-effective way with Home Shield Foundation Repairs. HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com.
If you suffer from burning, tingling, or numb feet, pay special attention as we discuss neuropathy with Dr. Patton, D.C. Doctor, what is neuropathy?
Peripheral neuropathy is nerve damage to the feet and legs.
What are the symptoms?
The symptoms are numbness, burning, tingling, pain, and loss of balance.
Is neuropathy treatable?
It's absolutely treatable, and we have amazing results.
If you have burning, tingling, numbness, coldness in your feet or hands or balance issues, call us at Comprehensive Integrated Health today for a nerve damage screening. The screening will tell if you're at risk for serious complications and if you're a candidate for our cutting-edge treatment program. Don't wait until your symptoms are so severe nothing can be done. End-stage neuropathy leaves people confined to walkers, wheelchairs, and even amputations. The first 10 callers will receive a free nerve damage screening. Call 636-538-5188. That's 636-538-5188 for your free nerve damage screening. 636-538-5188.
That baby's gone! Cardinals fans, FanDuel Sports Network is your home of the Cardinals. That ball was mashed. And there are more ways to watch this season. Holy cow! Subscribe directly to FanDuel Sports Network to stream the Cardinals without blackouts. How about that play? Or watch through a TV provider. Incredible! Including DirecTV, Spectrum, Xfinity, Fubo, and more. He got it! Learn more at cardinals.com/TV. Ball game! It couldn't have worked out any better for the Cardinals.
Hey guys, Glover here for my friends at Triton Exteriors. Not sure if you've noticed, but the storms seem to be especially bad this spring. If you had James Hardy Smart Siding, you wouldn't have to worry about it. It's not going to be damaged like in the 314-day storm. So we do roofing, siding, gutters, fences. We're always going to be the middle bid. We're never going to cut corners. We're never going to take advantage of you. Call 314-717-1159 or triton-stl.com.
Have you been notified that your subsidy for Obamacare health insurance is going away? Well, you can leave now while you are still healthy and can qualify for much better individual plans. Greg Hammonds at greghammonds.com has been helping people get affordable health insurance with great coverage for over 35 years. Greg offers private health insurance plans that are not on the ACA marketplace. You can pick your doctors. For most claims, you won't even pay a deductible, and they're 30 to 60% lower cost than Obamacare. One more thing, there's no tax penalty at the end of the year. Greg even has plans that are guaranteed acceptance. If you pay for your own health insurance, you're uninsured, you're on COBRA, or your employer coverage is just too expensive, call Greg at 314-794-7784. That's 314-794-7784. Or go to greghammonds.com. That's greghammonds.com. He can custom design a plan by you, not the government. Viking, dedicated to creating travel experiences for the thinking person, with programs designed for cultural enrichment on board and on shore. Discover more at Viking.com. That's Viking.com. Viking.com.
Annie Fry, Ryan Wiggins, Brad Range. It's the Annie Fry Show.
Hold up. Check it out.
Sports and local.
Ethan looks way too happy to be in that massage chair.
Yeah, that's
Way too happy to be what?
way too happy to be in that massage chair.
Oh, God.
That was a listener suggestion also.
Oh,
I did not write that.
Okay, Pontius Pilate.
I washed my hands of this.
Yeah, you did.
That is uncalled for.
You copied it and you put it in an email to that big voice guy, and he said what?
He said,
massage chair.
Oh,
Sports and local.
Ethan looks way too happy to be in that massage chair.
He leaned in.
I would never write that. And I didn't. But I did copy and paste
You
it
did-
and send it in
Ryan.
an
You
email
did
to Big
write
Voice
it in
Guy
an
and
email.
then produced that.
Ryan.
Yes.
Why would I be too happy?
I
to
don't
be in a
know.
massage
I don't
chair?
even know what it means.
Can we not discuss it? Can we talk about something that has to do with St. Louis?
Hey,
We could.
I'm the one that's being heavily accused of this thing. I wanna hear the reasoning.
I don't.
I have that right. Well,
You're going to have to take that to Herod because I'm pilot.
Herod?
I don't even want to be associated with that. I should never say that.
He said I'm pilot.
the St. Louis Symphony Orchestra.
Don't
I
Temple
can fly.
pilot.
I'm a pilot. What?
Yeah, go ahead.
Have you seen Independence Day,
No.
Ethan? No!
Oh, why are you surprised?
Because you're better than that. Ethan,
Have you ever celebrated Independence Day?
do you like America?
Do I like America? Yes.
Have you ever seen a non-video firework?
Yes.
Those AI ones.
Good. What about a drone show?
You've never seen Independence Day?
No.
Still no.
I have not.
I see. Now I want you to watch Spaceballs, Independence Day. They're basically the same thing.
Just watch the entire Bill Pullman catalog.
Yeah, exactly. But do you know who Bill Pullman is?
You know the answer.
Oh my gosh, he's not. Have you seen Twister?
Yes.
Not Twisters.
That's Bill
No, I've
Paxton.
seen Twister.
They're basically
He's
the same.
not in it.
You ever seen True Lies? Also Bill
It
Paxton.
was a test.
Good test. Good job, Annie.
I want to know. I want you to watch Spaceballs first and Independence Day second in a back-to-back dual feature evening, because I think it'll make Independence Day look better. But Independence Day should hit. I think I think that Spaceballs for Ethan at the end, he's going to be dissatisfied.
He'll be more dissatisfied with Independence Day.
Oh, I don't think so.
That movie is corny now.
No, it's not.
I think it is.
No, it's not.
Well, Ethan, you can decide.
No, he won't. He won't do what we say.
You're right. He won't
He's
do anything.
Disrespectful.
I recommend movies to him all the time.
All he wants to do is sit in his massage.
At least now I tell you that I'm probably not going to watch.
You just
them.
tell me straight up. Yeah, I'll never watch this.
At first, I'd be like, okay, yeah, I'll give that a look this weekend, knowing dang well I was not going to.
I think I need to put some serious professional pressure on him that he's gonna have to watch this movie.
I do too. Let's talk to Steve.
Okay.
Let's talk to corporate.
Where are they?
Let's call corporate in
Hey,
the next
George.
segment.
Anyway,
Is
go
this
ahead.
over the chairs now? Is this more important than the new chairs?
Sports and local, Ethan.
Sports and local. The St. Louis Symphony Orchestra is reopening Powell Hall as a part of their new Jack C. Taylor Music Center on Friday, following a $140 million renovation project.
crap.
Jack C. Taylor or Jack C. Taylor?
Jack C., the letter C.
Jaxie.
It
Taylor.
really depends on how big of a hurry you're in.
The reopening of Powell Hall marks the completion of a 2-year project aimed at preserving the historic venue's acoustics and visual design while enhancing the experience for both audiences and artists.
Ethan, have you ever been to the symphony? Have you ever been to Powell
I have
Hall?
not.
Have you ever been to
Powell
Jerome
Hall.
Powell Hall?
Stop it. No, he was too late.
I have not. No.
You've never been? Would you like it?
I think I probably wouldn't. I wouldn't say it probably wouldn't be like a normal thing for me, but I bet I would enjoy it.
How do you feel about? Let me put it this way. How do you feel about like really great movie soundtracks that have like a big symphonic type of?
Love it.
So this is what
Hans
you need to
Zimmer,
do.
my
yes,
guy.
yes.
Love Hans
You
Zimmer.
could go see Hans Zimmer special shows.
Interstellar.
Okay,
I
there
would-
you go. They've had Hans Zimmer shows where the symphony plays the music from Hans Zimmer, and a lot of times they'll show the movies while they're playing it. That is how you cut your teeth on going to the symphony, and you will find a new place of interest in your brain to watch this music come to life. Yeah, I love going to the symphony. We used to always go Lutheran schools, folks. I don't know if they all still do this, but we used to always go to Powell Hall to see. What would it be called? Where's the Hallelujah Chorus? But it's at Christmas time, and it includes the Hallelujah Chorus, and it's got all of the
Christmas. It would be called Christmas concert.
No, it's like all that. It's all the is it Bach? I don't know. Gosh dang, it's been so long. You go to the symphony. Handel's Messiah. Thank you, Ender. Yes, the Messiah. You go see that and all the beautiful music that comes.
Loves the Messiah.
Yes.
Grew up to.
It's because your mom is the best, so you should be nicer to her.
Every Christmas morning.
There you go. Take her to see it at the symphony.
I took her to see the Trans-Siberian Orchestra last year. Does that count?
It's different.
Oh, right.
A little bit different.
Slightly.
Although that is the way that I was introduced to Vanilla Ice. I watched him do the Ninja Turtles 2 soundtrack.
Can I finish this one?
I don't know if you can.
The Symphony Orchestra kicks off its season with a concert in Forest Park tonight, and then it will begin at Powell, the restored Powell Hall. Their opening weekend is September 26th through 28th.
Very rarely I'll go back and watch a show for some particular reason. And how I hear this show happen in real time while I'm sitting here, Ryan will say something, and it is the profoundly stupidest thing that I've ever heard. And everyone's like, I don't know
That's
why
offensive.
Well,
although accurate.
What will happen is the conversation is moving so fast, and I'll realize that Ryan was reacting to something someone else said in the room that I didn't hear, and I'm always like, oh, that's kind of funny.
Thank you.
I don't know why you just talked about turtles.
Go back and watch it.
I like turtles.
Did Vanilla Ice really do that?
Ninja Turtles 2 soundtrack.
It's just like we have a hat with words in it, and we're pulling them out and just saying them in sentences consecutively.
That's a pretty good way to put it.
He was not a part of the original film, but he did step into the franchise on number 2.
Yeah, Ninja Rap.
Yeah,
Why are
it's a
you
classic.
talking in your low registers? Stop it. If you're going to say stupid things, say it
Because
like this.
I'm not going to do that. I'm speaking with dignity because that's what Vanilla Ice deserves.
He follows me on Twitter. The people at home are like, I don't get it. And I'm with you
everything we did
people.
was just for the camera.
No, it was. I don't know what's happening. Ethan, Sports and Local. Put the paddles on this segment
All right,
and let's get to it.
All right. Let's do it, buddy. A little bit more of a serious one here. Last night, the St. Louis County Council rejected the Charlie Kirk resolution, where this was brought up to the council by Council Member Harder, where in the resolution he states, what occurred that last Wednesday. Obviously, the discourse that it has led to, and the political violence, the condemning of the political violence, and what the resolution called for was one, the condemning of the assassination of Charlie Kirk, basically for pushing freedom of speech, extending the condolences to the Kirk family. Honoring Kirk's life and legacy by recognizing his unwavering commitment to constitutional principles, encouraging the residents of St. Louis County to reflect on Kirk's contributions to civic engagement and to recommit to the values of respectful dialogue, faith, and freedom that he championed. And also, it would have sent a certified copy of this resolution to the family of Charlie Kirk in the care of Turning Point USA. That was rejected last night in a 5-2 vote, and had gotten some serious pushback from specifically the NAACP, where they were quoted saying, "While we unequivocally condemn the violence that ended his life, we cannot ignore that Mr. Kirk's public record is defined by rhetoric that undermines civil rights, dismiss the struggles of marginalized communities,
sugar that is,
disrespected African American women,
what in the
and
heck
spread
is
division."
This? They just defined exactly what the NAACP is. That is such crap. Listen, okay, resolutions here, resolutions there. A lot of times it's, it's a statement is really what it is. We're going to agree. We're going to make a statement.
Yes.
Nobody this is the county council?
Yes.
Nobody in St. Louis County Council is making a decision about what the people in St. Louis County have to do after this. And in fact, the only reason that people know that this actually even was exercised as a possibility is because they rejected it. It would have done less harm to the people who voted to reject its cause if they would have just passed it. They would have passed it. People would have moved on and nobody would be talking about it. But once again, the St. Louis County Council gets it absolutely wrong. Absolutely wrong. I mean, it's a laughable joke. And to suggest that Charlie Kirk is any of those things that the NAACP had to say, can you list those things again? What did they say Charlie Kirk was?
Defined by rhetoric that undermines civil rights, dismissed the struggles of marginalized communities, disrespected African-American women, and spread division.
All of those things the NAACP does to those parties, they do it directly to those parties, and it keeps them right in the lot in life that they feel like they've been born into, that they will never be able to get out of, and that is what, therefore, continues the NAACP to even exist. The NAACP needs these people to stay in their lot in life so that they can still serve a purpose. Charlie Kirk was offering people a conversation. That's it. A conversation that would pull them out of the position in life that they were in if they wanted to look at the world from a different perspective. Didn't even have to end up agreeing with it, just to have a conversation about a different way of seeing things. And if that removes them from the lot in life that they are in, apparently that's threatening to the people in the NAACP, but also the majority, the 5 people on the St. Louis County Council. It's despicable. You should be absolutely ashamed of yourself. We certainly are ashamed of you.
The vote was 4 of the voters that voted no were Democrats. 1 was Republican. That was Dennis Hancock. Not necessarily entirely reflective. This was of the NAACP. Some of the voters had different comments, and there was some back and forth dialogue among both citizens and the county council last night regarding this. But as mentioned, it ended up getting rejected by a 5-2 vote.
So ridiculous. I mean, the resolution, okay, fine, whatever. But for the NAACP to come out and make such an asinine statement.
That was only a part of it, too.
No,
there was more of it.
I don't.
It's also just a cut and paste statement that it sounds like, oh, who's this? Oh, you want us to comment against it? Here, we'll just copy paste. There you go. It's the same thing we always say. Is that it?
Well, you got something to add?
I just did.
One more story, or are we done? Up to you.
We're done.
All right.
Save that one for tomorrow.
It shall be saved.
It shall be saved. It shall be so. All right. Will more arrests be made in the wake of the Charlie Kirk's murder? Yes or no? Anti-Fry YouTube live chat poll. Go vote. We'll be right back.
Got to sit down, take a rest on the porch. Imagination sets in. Pretty soon I'm singing. Looking out my back door.
Infinite-Vitality.com. If you mention Annie when you call 618-486-1888, you're going to save $50 on most services. Here is something I want you to consider. I want you to consider weight loss that you've been trying to, get over the hump for a long time. It gets harder when you get older. Weight loss can be made much more attainable when you partner with Infinite Vitality. A lot of people are using the GLP-1s, and if you are looking for a partner in that, go where I've gone and go to Infinite Vitality in Glen Carbon. I've got a follow-up appointment tomorrow. My follow-up is on the phone, so I don't even have to go into the office, and the office isn't terribly far from me. If you're traveling and you want to make sure you find a place that you can trust, maybe to see about your hormone balance. Ladies, you know that you have heard of your friends who have had success on this, and you've kind of thought about it, but you're a little concerned. Go to Infinite Vitality and just have a conversation. Talk to them about how you felt dreary, how you feel like the brain fog sets in. It's like a drudge through the day, every single day, and you just can't get ahead. The weight that has come on over the years is difficult to shed, and you just don't have the energy you used to or the excitement that you used to. Infinite Vitality can help you with that, and they can do it by taking your blood, looking at the numbers that make up your body and your system, and helping you find a solution. They've done it for me. They can do it for you. Call them at 618-486-1888. Find them online at infinite-vitality.com.
You know your customers. Ralph likes his coffee black on Fridays, but Mondays he takes a little cream. Jennifer comes in every 3 years when her lease is up to get the newer and better model. And for some reason, pepperoni pizza sells like crazy on Friday nights. Who knew? At Odyssey, we have the expertise to get your media plan done right. With ads like you're hearing right now, to targeted social media campaigns, search engine optimization, and location-based advertising. Advertise with Odyssey and help us grow your business. Visit ads.odyssey.com.
Don't get lulled into believing the IRS is getting soft. It's just the opposite. Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. We are being told by IRS collection officers that their higher-ups are demanding that they get more aggressive than ever. So don't ignore them any longer. Level up. If you have unfiled returns, unpaid taxes, levies, or liens, call the Lance Story Law Firm today and let us get between you and the IRS. We'll protect your rights, including your right to appeal or even your right to take the IRS to tax court. Remember, IRS problems are legal problems, and they need to be handled by an expert attorney team who's done it for decades. So call the Lance Story Law Firm today. We're local. Our office is right here in St. Louis, or visit Lance, D-R-U-R-Y, law.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm, the Lance Story Law Firm, 314-260-6120.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
We've been here 30 years, 30 Christmases in this house, and we have the traditions that most families have.
That's Terry talking about her experience with Rhino Shield ceramic coating.
We did Rhino Shield 14 years ago, and the house still looks the same as the first day. Rhino Shield really worked with me to help me get just the right nice soft yellow, and it's 14 years later, and it's the same color.
The main reason Terry called Rhino Shield is because it's backed by its 25-year transferable warranty.
It just sounded wonderful that we could have the house coated with Rhino Shield and not have to worry about it again for 25 years.
Take it from Terry. Give Rhino Shield a call now for a free evaluation. 877-25-RHINO. 877-25-RHINO. Or visit 877-25rhino.com.
There have been neighbors that have come by and said, "Did you just have your house painted?" Because they wanted to know who the contractor was. And I said, "No, it's actually Rhino Shield."
877-25rhino.com.
There are 12,471 followers of this here radio show online.
On YouTube.
On YouTube. Now, just think of this.
Why are you-
You yourself could be 12,472.
Every time we do this and we were like, oh, we're tracking it live, people unsubscribe to see if we're for real.
And we are.
It usually goes down.
You don't
before it
have to
goes up.
test it. We're really for real. So there it is. If you want to follow the show on YouTube, you can be that key number that we've been looking for.
Let's get 529 before the end of the show.
472. By doing so,
we'll end up with less.
you will be a part of the show every day, hopefully, and participate in the YouTube live chat poll, which we ask you daily. Today's question is, will more arrests be made in the wake of Charlie Kirk's murder? It's a simple yes or no. We'd like to hear what you think, and of course, you can leave a comment. 2:39, this time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Born in the Midwest, built on common sense. 97.1 FM Talk. St. Louis Conservative.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. You guys like Dua Lipa?
I like Single Lipa.
He is on one today.
That's good stuff. That's good stuff. I don't really know much about Dua Lipa.
What's the matter with you?
I'm a hero of comedy.
A hero of comedy?
Tell me about, let's divert. Tell me about why you like Dua Lipa that much.
I just like her voice and I like her catchy music.
Do I know more songs by Dua Lipa other than that one?
I don't know what you know. Her probably biggest song, at least in my old lady exposure, is the one that was with the Barbie movie. So, did you watch the Barbie movie?
I finally did, way after the fact.
Did you like it?
I liked a lot about it. I thought the plot made no sense of leaving Barbie world and like this big journey, and then they just kind of go back and forth, and it's like,
that's not true.
I can't remember everything about it. I just remember thinking,
I want to
that
say
doesn't make sense.
that I loved the Barbie movie, and I said this I think before you watch it, that when I watched it, I wept.
I did not.
I believe that. I don't think that you were the target audience there for the purpose of what made me emotionally connected to the movie. But the point is that Barbie World, which is Margot Robbie, is that her name? Barbie, she's Barbie, but they're all Barbie, which is funny. Hi Barbie. Hi Barbie.
Yeah.
Hi Barbie. She lives in a feminist utopia, which is Barbie World. And Ken pines for Barbie because Ken is nothing without Barbie. He's just Ken.
Right.
And Barbie starts to have thoughts of death. Well, it turns out that the connection between, like, Barbie's existence in Barbie World is connected to the person who plays with that Barbie in the real world. So she starts to have some intrusive thoughts, essentially. She ends up going to the real world to figure out why her existence of living in perfect feminist-driven Barbie world is changing. She ends up meeting the person who is the one who plays with her. And when Barbie and Ken go into the real world and Ken discovers patriarchy, it's so funny. It's so funny because he's like trying to do patriarchy. And he's like going into the hospital and this woman comes up like, can I help you? He's like, I'd like to see a doctor. And she's like, I'm a doctor. And he's like, no, I'd like a real one. I don't know if it's like a janitor walks in, but it's a man. He's like, is he a doctor? But I mean, that is a satirically funny, to me, overexposure of the systems that we set up culturally, where you have, I mean, it's, I don't, the woman who created the movie, do you know who her name is? I can't remember. It's like something you'd know that I don't.
Yes, although I can't come up
Well,
with it.
she's a big feminist. Like there's a huge feminist drive behind the initial onset of that movie. But the point is that the feminist way of doing things is not Greta Gerwig.
Yeah.
She is not like that the ideal feminist world is not ideal. At the end of the movie, that's kind of what you get down to. The patriarchy that is in the real world doesn't really have it going on the way everything is perfect either. I feel like the initial publicity that movie got was that it was like supposed to be this like feminist, iconic kind of movie, and I didn't take that away from it.
It was. I mean, if you know Greta Gerwig is, that's what she was going for. She just did it so over egregiously comedically that everybody was able to just kind of laugh at it.
Which is fine.
Which is fine. You went way deeper on that than I did. Because all I was saying about Barbie, that movie, is that it didn't make any sense when Barbie and Ken would leave Barbie World and they'd have this transition to like, ooh, now you're real people. And then all of a sudden at the end, Will Ferrell, who's the executive at Mattel, is just in Barbie World. And you're like, that doesn't, you can't just go back and forth between them if you're not a doll. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
I'm somewhat confused as to what you're willing to accept as plausible.
I was mad at the end of that movie. You broke your own rules.
That's not true.
If this is sci-fi and you're asking me to suspend my
when
belief.
Barbie finds the girl that's playing with her in the real world, she comes back with Barbie.
Again, that's my point. It doesn't make any sense. How are these people becoming in doll world?
So you're upset because it's not realistic that Will Ferrell, president of Mattel, would be able to go to Barbie Land, but you accept the part where Barbie and Ken leave Barbie World and go into the real world and rollerblade?
Yeah, because they set up some boundaries and rules for how that happens.
They actually list them.
And I can't remember all what they were. I just remember thinking like, oh, okay, that's the rules of the game we're playing here. And then so they move into real world. And then they can move seamlessly back into Barbie World. That's fine because they're dolls.
But they have to do it backwards.
They
Which
never
is the same
show
thing.
how some of these people end up moving from the real world into Fantasyland at all.
Amy says when her feet went flat, I lost it. So funny. There are so many things. It's not a movie that's made to entertain men, which might be a feminist part of it. I think that men can watch it and be entertained by it.
Oh, there was a lot of cool stuff about it.
But there isn't a missed opportunity in the movie to make women who are my age thoroughly entertained by it. And the thing, when I talk about how I watched that movie and it caused me to, I literally wept. I was sick in bed from something. I can't remember what it was. It was like a year or two ago. And I was laying in bed and I watched the movie on my phone. That's how I watched it. But the part of the movie is that the girl who's playing with the girl who's in the real world, who's playing with the Barbie in Barbie world, the reason why she starts to get sad is because her daughter is of an age, like a junior high, maybe early high school age, where the daughter's pulling away from the mom.
Mm-hmm.
And she brings the Barbie. She works for Mattel.
Yeah.
But she brings the Barbies out as kind of a way to reconnect with the youth of her child that is now going away.
Yeah, it's the secondary plot to Barbie's plight.
And I'm like, oh.
Oh, I see.
Yeah?
Now I see.
And the mom is talking about how, like, there's a disconnect between her and her daughter that wasn't there. Like, all this, we used to play Barbies together all the time, and now you don't want to have anything to do with me. And I wouldn't say that Jensen, my 13-year-old, and I are very close, but there are definite, she's growing up. And the harsh reality as a mom in that moment is that even if your child isn't detaching from you as they're growing up, you kind of owe it to your child to push them into things to make them more independent. It is an incredibly vicious tragedy of truth to understand that you as a parent have to raise your children to no longer need you. When they're born, they need you for every single thing. And if you do your job right, they can walk away and they can stay in contact with you. They can stay connected to you. But the success is when they truly don't need you anymore. And yours are 11. And does your this is a weird question to ask you on the air without having pre-screened it, but does your wife have a special relationship with her daughter, only daughter?
She's a little her. They're
and they know it.
They know it.
They know it.
Yeah.
They live in it.
They love it.
Yes.
And we're not a part of it. That's their thing.
But it's just the two of them.
Yeah.
Do you have a boys' club?
Kinda.
That's appropriate.
Yeah.
Do you have a special relationship with your only daughter?
Yes.
Do you see her differently as your child than you do your sons?
I'll tell you this. She's 11. She's getting to that age where playing with toys and that stuff's starting to fade, but it's not gone. And we're going out of town next week. The number one thing she wanted to do was go to the American Girl doll store.
You better take her to
and
the
I was
American
like, we're
Girl.
going.
That's exactly right.
This is probably it.
The actual American Girl
in Orlando
doll store. Lean into that stuff while it still is there, for sure. Let's take a quick break. YouTube live chat poll, conversation, and results. Will more arrests be made in the wake of Charlie Kirk's murder? Next.
You know how. Don't start caring about me now. Aren't you the guy who...
All right, yesterday was my birthday, and I only bring it up because my wife will go get anything I want to eat on my birthday, and she didn't even have to ask. She went and got me a hamburger to go from Andrea's. It is the best hamburger I've ever had and will continue to be because it is the best burger every time I get it, and I will get it as often as possible. Here's the thing, though, but because it was a Tuesday night, we couldn't go celebrate. That was just kind of like an extra thing. So this Friday, we're going to Andrea's, and I encourage you to go to Andrea's for your next celebration, whatever that may be. For me, it's my birthday. My mother-in-law and our whole family are going this Friday, and I look forward to getting a filet mignon because that is my dinner. If I'm going to choose anything, that's my desert island dinner. Give me filet mignon from Andrea's with Andrea's sauce. It is the best. If you've never had it, now's the time to go get a steak from Andrea's. Not only are they fantastic, they are, if you're not going to finish it that night, I wouldn't be surprised. You're going to have dinner or lunch for the next couple days because it is a lot of food. So enjoy the meal. Enjoy your next outing. Go to Andrea's, andreas.com.
Bold, unapologetic, unfiltered. The Mark Cox Morning Show is covering the issues that matter to you. From borders to school boards, Mark Cox is St. Louis conservative.
The Beach Boys, the Sounds of Summer Tour. This Sunday night at Chesterfield Amphitheater. The music, the memories, the Beach Boys, riding an endless summer wave. Get tickets now at Ticketmaster.com. Don't miss the Beach Boys, the Sounds of Summer Tour, live.
Setting goals for your retirement is one thing, but knowing how to achieve those goals is another.
What are your wishes, hopes, and dreams? What's retirement look like for you? Because everybody, that picture is different.
For tips on building a better nest egg, listen to the All Financial Hour with Steve All, Saturday mornings at 6, here on 97.1 FM Talk.
You can also visit yourmoneymattersstl.com for more details.
Hey, this is Lisa Stofan. Heard the Mark Patrick weight loss hypnosis hype? Well, I attended because my father stopped smoking with hypnosis. Hypnosis eliminated my desire for soda and fast food, made me want to exercise, and I lost 60 pounds in 6 months. My energy level exploded. I went to another session to deal with some other problem foods, and I lost another 10 pounds. In fact, I brought my husband. He lost weight. More important, cholesterol and blood pressure improved. My friend went, and she lost 20 pounds in the first 2 months. So does Mark Patrick hypnosis work? Oh yeah, it works. Nothing has changed my life more. Well, except maybe my husband. He's so proud of me. Makes me cry.
Now that you've heard it, what are you waiting for? Join Mark Patrick seminars and lose the weight or stop smoking. Guaranteed early bird specials $49.99. That's right, weight loss seminar, Saturday, October 18th at the Marriott St. Louis West in St. Louis at 11 a.m. Registration at 10:30 a.m. Stop smoking seminar 2 p.m. Registration at 1:30 p.m. Sign up at markpatrickseminars.com.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Well, since my baby left me, well, I found a new place to dwell. Well, it's down at the end of Lonely Street, that heartbreak hotel.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Thanks for being with us. Real quick around the horn here for the YouTube poll, and then I'm going to read a little bit about the interest rate, the Fed rate cut today. Will more arrests be made in the wake of Charlie Kirk's murder? I actually am going to say yes on this. I think that there are so many different entities that have been exposed. I just think he was really sloppy. I don't know, sloppy. I think this is just kind of the way this world is turning right now, where people talk about things thinking that it's completely okay to talk about things in a certain way. I would say it's probably more likely no than yes, but I'm just going to say yes. What do you think?
I'm a no. Yeah, I don't think there's going to be, if anything, it'll be somebody from that Discord chat that, oh, you knew and you didn't do anything about it. But I don't think they can really find any major players in this. So I'm going to say no.
What do you think, Ethan?
I'm also going to say no. I thought that Paul Mauro brought up a great point regarding the transgender partner that the killer, I guess, was, like I said, partnered with. That one, it sounds like they could, but as long as that person's cooperating, I don't think that they're going to end up getting arrested, at least at this pace.
If he destroyed that note that was under the keyboard immediately in a rash decision, but then agreed to cooperate in all other things, I don't think you charge him with destruction of that evidence when you pour into the other evidence that would help close the case. Brad, real quick, what do you think?
I think yes, and I actually think it's going to be the transgender roommate that will get it, because he did destroy evidence. I mean, even though he did it, I don't think it's going to be a big charge. I think they'll either charge him and let him plea down to a misdemeanor or probation or whatever it is, but I just don't think you can set the precedent where it's okay to destroy evidence.
Yeah, we'll naturally wait and see. Real quick before we get the results from an NBC or a CNBC article, Fed rate cut. Here's what it means for your mortgage rate, credit card, savings accounts, and more. There will be a lot discussed about the first cut of Donald Trump's term here. Credit cards have a variable rate. There's a direct connection to the Fed's benchmark. With the rate cut, the prime rate lowers too, and the interest rate on your credit card debt is likely to follow. But even then, APRs will only ease off extremely high levels. Mortgage rates don't directly track the Fed, but are largely tied to Treasury yields. In the economy, rates are already significantly lower than they were earlier this year. So it's not direct, but it is indirect. Auto loans are fixed. Potential car buyers could benefit if borrowing costs come down on new loans. And student loans are also fixed and only reset once a year on July 1st, so most borrowers won't be immediately affected. There's going to be a lot to follow on this, and we will be sure to update you tomorrow with everything we know about it when Stewie joins us in studio. Let's get the results to the live chat poll.
307 votes on today's YouTube live chat poll. Will more arrests be made in the wake of Charlie Kirk's murders? We were split here in studio. 76% say yes, 24% say no.
All right. 76% saying yes. All right. Keep it right here. With Mark Reardon show is coming up next, and he's going to bring you all the latest. We're watching right now as King Charles III is speaking at the Donald Trump state dinner. And boy, these people look good. It's nice to see people all dressed up. We should get back to that. Keep it right here on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative. Here comes Mark Reardon.
Mark Cox here. Join me, Mark Reardon, and Annie Fry, along with Thomas Helbig of the Retirement Advisory Group for the last Protecting Your Retirement educational event of the year. It's Thursday, October 2nd at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30. Here's Thomas with more.
Are you nearing retirement or already retired and wondering if your 401k and IRA will last through your lifetime? Do you have your own personalized structured income plan set up? The markets are hitting all-time highs. Would you like to learn how to automatically lock in your gains without having to sell? Did you also know if you're 59 and a half or older, you can roll over your company retirement plan tax-free to protect your nest egg? You'll get all the answers and more. If you're 59 and a half or older, you can't afford to miss the last event of the year.
Protect your retirement nest egg. Join the official financial advisor of my show, Thomas Helbig, at the Frontenac Hilton, Thursday, October 2nd at 6:30. Go